That took a minute. Why did that take so long? Okay. I believe we are live. All right. We are live. Where we do it live. I did not get to advertise as much as I would normally do because I was scrambling to get back in time after Easter dinner where I had lots of ham. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. For those of you already tuning in, welcome. As we wait for some people to realize that I'm on the air, and that was something we used to say back in the day, on the air. That's a broadcast term. Now we say we're live streaming. Anyhow, what did I do this week? I have a lot going on. I don't think I did. Yeah, this was the last weekend, or last week in, or last weekend too, in March. So good month for me, birthday month. Had a good time. Geek Fest was Saturday. Had a great time at Geek Fest. Sold some books. Saw some fans. It was a crazy time. Then I had a nice dinner afterwards, and then I had a nice dinner today. So good times. I got to see my friends. When did we go out? Friday or Saturday? I think we went out Friday night. And we did our little cinematic coffee clutch that we like to do at Starbucks. And then we ran out of time at Starbucks, so we continued at one of our fabulous local diners. And very nice. My friends treated me to both places. So my one friend I sort of did a favor for, so he said, I'll get you Starbucks. And then I got to the diner, and I had already eaten kind of a big dinner, and I'd eaten a piece of cake at Starbucks. But I felt like I needed to order something at the diner just to be there. So I got a giant cookie and an iced tea. And then my other friend was like, I'll get it. All you had was a cookie and iced tea. So that was nice. I was pleasantly surprised. It doesn't take me much. It doesn't take much to pleasantly surprise me. It would pleasantly surprise me if you didn't bark through my shows, Joe. That would pleasantly surprise me. You know? So let's take this off. Since we got a little time here. A little time while people figure out I'm on the air. I just literally just tweeted. I'll tell you, the tweets, they take forever for people to see them. I think that's the other factor people don't realize in the algorithm. That there's a time factor of when they're going to see your tweets. Yeah, you're going to see them. But if you're subscribed to too many people, when will you see them? The answer is a long time if you're subscribed. Like I'm subscribed to like 3,000 people, almost as many as people as subscribe to me. So, 3,000 people constantly tweeting means that's going to stack up. And James Lindsay is in a constant state of tweeting, right, doggy? There's Stormy. Hey, Tony, happy Easter. Happy Easter, Stormy. Joan says happy Easter as well. Oh, I got to change your bandana, Joan. You're still wearing the St. Patty's Day bandana. It's inappropriate. This is Jesus's day. It's not beer day. So, yes, welcome, Stormy. Welcome. So, yeah, nothing much going on this week. Other than the weather is nicer, I'll say. It's warm. I was going to mow the lawn tomorrow, but now it looks like it's going to rain all week, or at least the beginning part of this week, which means I probably won't do it. And then, if all goes well, I have a date on Thursday coming here, which means my lawn will be completely out of control, and she'll see that, and that'll look bad. Stormy, can't wait for your next book. Well, thank you. I'm about halfway through book 15. Thank you for reading 14. I hope you find pirate treasure, and I hope you remember me when you do. Arden is also here. Happy Jesus isn't a Groundhog Day. That's correct. Because Jesus didn't even look for his shadow when he got out. He had stuff to do. He had stuff to do. Yeah, it's Easter. I like Easter. I don't understand the war on Easter from the, I don't know what you would call them, atheist, Marxist, communist, I guess. Communist is the best term. Idiots. Should be synonymous with idiots. Like, commies don't like Easter. Like, oh, you don't like Easter, huh? You don't like yummy food and chocolate just because you might have to go to church? Oh, no. Oh, it's such a horrible thing. Go to one place one time a year. I'm not religious, by the way. I'm not forced, but I am not anti-religious. Like, it doesn't... I don't understand people who are anti-religious. Like, to me, they were traumatized in some way, right? Like Bill Maher, he's got a huge chip on his shoulder about religion, and it's like too much. And he's Jewish, so it's like, dude, you're Jewish. Why are you so mad at the Catholic Church? I mean, I get it. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, they did some terrible things to Jewish people, but all those people are dead, dude. That's history. That's in the history books. Like, no one did anything to you in the modern era. Yeah, the Catholic Church has something to answer for. Don't get me wrong, they do. But I don't get the anti-religious thing. But this is where we're at. Anti-religion, doggy. Don't like. I'm checking your face out, doggy. Make sure your face is looking cleanish. Yeah. Anyhow, Pineys Book 14 available at Amazon.com. Now, Joan, get out of the way. Now we're going to get into the important thing. Box office, Joan. It's box office time. Understand? You and your tongue, get that tongue back in your mouth. Get it in there. So we're going to talk about what made money in the theaters, the dying theater industry at the end of March. Well, it looks like Godzilla vs. Kong, the New Empire, did pretty damn well. $80 million this weekend. That's not bad. Nothing to sneeze at. What'd this thing cost? Had to cost a lot of money. Ooh, it did even better overseas. 114 million. 194 million worldwide. That's pretty good. That's probably... Well, it doesn't say what the budget is. That's probably the budget. If it was Japan, that would be 10 times the budget. As we all know that Japan could do this cheap. Now, we all saw Godzilla -1. Well, I didn't see it, but I want to see it. So that's not bad. Not bad. So that's probably money in the next few weeks. Depending on what the competition is. I think that's going to be solid. Number 2, dropping from 1, is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I'm hearing a lot of mixed things about this. It doesn't appear to have legs. It dropped by 65%. 15.7 million. It's in a lot of theaters. It's in more theaters than Godzilla vs. Kong. But still doing okay-ish. I said it from the get-go. Too many people in this movie. Way too many. 108 million worldwide for a budget of 100 million. So, all right, it's in potential money territory, but how much did they spend on, advertising? It's not in a lot of international markets yet, so it's quite a few markets it hasn't reached yet. So it'll probably make money, I'll say. But it's not doing any great shakes. I mean, a couple of things with it. Number 1, it's a comedy, so that's always tough. Ardent. Be right back. Changing devices, okay? Comedies are always tough. They don't translate well overseas, which may be why some of the people were jammed in the movie in hopes of attracting those foreign markets. Maybe. Or maybe it was just the idea like everybody wants to be in it. If you have too many characters, That just doesn't work. They also managed to jam in a lesbian romance. Don't think that was necessary at all. Um, the only romance I want to see in Ghostbusters is the failed romance between Annie Potts and Harold Ramis. And since Harold Ramis is gone, we can't see that. Possibly the failed romance between Venkman and Dana, if Sigourney Weaver made an appearance, which she has not. Probably wisely. Probably wisely. Um, Beyond that, do we want to see more romance? No. No, I don't think we do. So, again, you're talking about a tiny portion of the audience. You're also talking about a male audience. It skews male. It skews male. Yeah, females love comedy, but tends to be a more male-dominated thing. Oh, God, this is heavy. Ugh. Almost dropped it. So, I think what you basically could have done to improve this, and Critical Drinker said this, and I think I agree, you could have done a passing of the torch. But that ship's kind of almost sailed. Now, you didn't do it in the first one. You probably could have gotten away with it in the second one. Like, all the Ghostbusters retire to the mentor stage. It's their one last thing. And then the new guys take over. But, it's like they don't know what they're doing. They really don't. This was so simple back in the 80s. It's very simple. Let me spell it out for you. Oh, you're doing a comedy movie? Oh, let's hire funny people. Oh, funny people. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, who are the funniest guys in show business right now? Well, let's see. There's Bill Murray. Oh, yeah, he's funny. Harold Ramis works a lot with him. Oh, yeah, let's get him too. Dan Aykroyd. Oh, yeah, he was on Saturday Night Live with Bill Murray. Oh, and how about Eddie Murphy? He's a current cast member. Yeah. Oh, man, this sounds amazing. Now, Eddie didn't make it in the movie. And they switched in Ernie Hudson, who, by the way, has no complaints. Good for him. That's a formula for success. Here's a formula for not success. Yeah, let's make a Ghostbusters sequel. Oh, okay. Who's funny? Well, Paul Rudd's kind of funny, I guess. And then we could get some kids. What? Yeah, some kids. Funny kids? Not particularly. Well, who did you have in mind? Well, Finn Wolfhard. Okay, he was in Stranger Things, so that kind of goes. How about this unknown girl? Why? I don't know. She could have a lesbian romance. Why? I don't know. Because that's what modern movie audiences want. But Ghostbusters was a classic. Ghostbusters was huge. People still talk about the first Ghostbusters as one of the funniest movies they've ever seen. Why don't we hire funny people? Well, I don't know what funny is. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Comedians. You hire comedians. The new Ghostbusters are painfully obvious. Who would you hire first? Who's the funniest person around right now? Dave Chappelle. I would go to Dave Chappelle and say, Dave, we want you on the Ghostbusters movie. He'd say, no. No way. I'm not interested in doing any movies. I'm making money on my stand-up, and you won't let me do what I want to do anyway. Dave, we're going to let you do whatever you want. Really? You're going to let me get high in Ghostbusters? Yes. You're going to let me smoke in Ghostbusters? Yeah, go ahead. We don't care. You're going to let me do whatever I want? Yes. But it's got to be funny, and it's got to be Ghostbusters. Who else is going to be in it? Adam Sandler. I know. He hasn't been funny recently, but he can be funny. I think Adam Sandler would be funny. Also, Saturday Night Live. Okay. Sure. Adam Sandler, Dave Chappelle. Who else? Who else? From Saturday Night Live? Let's see. Well, you won't want any women because they ruined that ship has sailed. No female Ghostbusters. Oh, Marshall J 2. It's very shocking. Godzilla vs. Kong made 80 million overall. Global 194 million. Clearly, people love kaiju movies. Your thoughts? They love them. You know what? Because you get what you're paying for in a kaiju movie. You know exactly what you're getting. You pay the money, and you say to yourself, oh, I hope he steps on buildings and eats people. And then that happens. And you're like, this is exactly what I wanted. And you go and you feel like you made a purchase where you got what you wanted. Ardent. Dave Chappelle, Jimmy Carr, Brad Williams, and Rob Schneider. That's not a bad lineup. I'm not familiar with Brad Williams. I can't think of who he is right this second. Another guy who's pretty hot right now is Matt Rife. But I don't know how funny he is. Ardent and Fran Drescher for the secretary. Maybe throw her in there for a funny character. That would be pretty funny. Ghostbusters. Yeah, some lineup like that. It's a shame Seth Rogen ruined himself. He would have been good for it. Yeah, before he ruined himself. I think he ruined himself. I could have seen, Seth Rogen, the guys from This Is the End. Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jonah Hill, and Jay Burchell. I can never say his last name. Brad Williams is a midget comedian and hilarious. Oh, he sounds funny already because he's a midget. Marshall J 2. I haven't seen the movie yet, but read and watched all the reviews. Everyone said it's really a Kong movie, more focus on him and the characters are. Well, that's the thing about monster movies. There's only so much plot you could jam in it. It's really closer to an amusement park ride. And you're going to get what you pay for. Like, if I go to an action movie and it's not particularly good, but there's tons of action, I'm not going to feel like I got ripped off. I might feel, well, that wasn't the greatest action movie I saw, but the action was cool. I'm trying to think what movie I saw. There's a movie done by a Canadian, I think he was a Canadian stuntman, and I can't think of his name. And the movie wasn't great, but the stunts were cool. I mean, his fight scenes were on point. Everything else about the movie was okay. It was a little shaky. But overall, it was fine because the stunts were so sweet. Really good stunts. If he had just gotten in a screenwriter to clean up the dialogue a little bit, it would have been perfect. But again, it all comes back to screenwriting. There's nothing a good screenwriter can't fix. Ghostbusters is a prime example of a movie that was not written and then, okay, let's figure out who could be in this. The current Ghostbusters I'm talking about, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That meeting started like, okay, we have to have all the old guys in it, we have to have all the new guys in it, and plus we need some new people. Well, what are you going to do for the next one? You've sort of set up this pattern. Well, now we need the old guys, and then we need the new guys, and then we need the new guys, and then we need even newer guys after that. I'll tell you the one good thing they did in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was they based it, at least loosely, on something they drew from the cartoon. Because the cartoon was good, and so the villain looks at least mildly interesting. But still not great. Unlike 2, which I don't even like Ghostbusters 2, except for maybe the first act. It's the villain's pretty good. They still talk about the villain today. That's how good the villain is. I mean, one could argue the villain in Ghostbusters 2 was better than the first one, really, but because he's so interesting. But the villain in this one looks fine, but not particularly great. It should have been if I was going to write a Ghostbusters movie, and I'd be perfect for it, by the way. I write the Pineys, for crying out loud. I would have picked a ghost or monster or demon or whatever that was from legend. Like, I would have done some research and found like a quote unquote real monster, real curse, something like that. So something like a mummy, like a real mummy. They moved to New York or something, something like that. Maybe Tutankhamun, something that everybody would go, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that." Arden, Vigo of Carpathia was a great villain. Yeah, there's still memes of him on the internet. People still talk about that character, and it just, the execution was like, and the solution at the end was kind of wonky and silly. But this is part of the problem with A-list movies when they do a sequel. Their first thought is, well, what did we do in the first movie that everybody liked? We got to do that again. Then they try to fill in the gaps, I think. Marshall J. 2. I didn't like Ghostbusters 2 either, but love the first one. Do you think Ghostbusters franchise is played out? Now it is, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, the video game, which they say is the third movie, really, wasn't bad. I saw a video with all the cutscenes of the third, movie, quote unquote, and they all did the voices. It wasn't bad, and it even had callbacks to the first movie. They go back to the hotel from the first movie, and wreck it again. So, Ghostbusters was comedy bits, and oh yeah, they're fighting ghosts, right? That's what it was. It was an excuse for Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis to do comedy bits, and Ernie Hudson to some degree. Although he's not really a comedian, so he was more of like a straight guy, just sort of to bounce off of, because they needed a fourth guy. LeMay is here. Hello, everyone. So what you want to do is come up with a bunch of hilarious bits for these guys to do, and put them in situations that are like the first movie. The most obvious situation was to send them to a fancy hotel and have them wreck the joint while everybody's going, "Oh, the hotel," because that's always funny. So what would you do today? I mean, if you're going to have it in New York, Ardent, low. If you're going to have it in New York, what are the sacred cows currently in New York? Well, the sacred cows in New York are pretty freaking obvious. First off, crime's through the roof. And we've got a bunch of woke tards running the city and the state government. So it's that. In fact, the funniest thing happened ever this week, and this is in real life, this wasn't in a movie. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, who's, if not all completely responsible, but at least partially responsible for the chaos that's happening in New York City and the state and statewide, attempted to go to the funeral of an NYPD officer who had been killed for senseless reasons. And she got told off and thrown out of the funeral. There you go. That moment should be in a movie. It absolutely should be in a movie, because that's the current vibe now. That's the current vibe. If they want to make something for the modern audiences, then you address a modern problem like crime in New York. They used to do that on Saturday Night Live, by the way. Ardent at Marshall, yeah, but only because the studio doesn't know how not to do nostalgia bait. That's a problem. So I'll give you an example. The original Saturday Night Live, one of the very first episodes, I want to say it might have been the first episode, but there's a comedy sketch where someone drives around New York and it's like, "Hey everybody, show us your guns." And then people in New York wave, and they wave their guns because crime was so bad in New York in the 70s, it's like now everybody has a gun. Like, that was the joke. And so it's all these friendly people waving dangerous weapons around. It was funnier in the 70s at that time. Like, if you did something like that, oh my God, people would lose their damn minds. It would be glorious. They're not going to do that, though. The studio would never approve of that bit. That's the problem. The bits you would have to do would be so based and so out of control, the studio would cancel them all. And then the movie would get canceled, and then you'd have a struggle getting people to see the thing. You know, the critics would come out, oh, Ghostbusters has a terrible view on guns. The violence in Ghostbusters has to stop. But they'll never do that. They'll never take that chance. Ardent, isn't Hochul suing gun companies for gun crime? What a maroon. As bad as the guy out west suing car companies for car theft. Yeah. Yeah, she's an idiot, and she should be made fun of. She should be portrayed in the movies as a female governor who is so permissive of everything that's on her political side that the entire state is unraveling, and only the Ghostbusters can save the day. And it wouldn't be crime related, of course. It would have to have something to do with the supernatural that she's exacerbating by her ridiculous policies. And then there should be a scene in which, like, you know, instead of being called up to the mayor's office, they're called up to the governor's office because maybe it's a statewide deal. And then, you know, she agrees to help them, but then screws them in the end for politics. Oh, yeah. That would be a great thing. Marshall J2. Had you seen Dune 2 yet or went to it? I tried to watch the first one and kept falling asleep. Didn't like the one way back. Didn't like the one way back in the 80s when went to the theaters to see it. No, I haven't seen Dune yet. I kind of want to see it, but I don't have time to see movies these days. I'm constantly scrambling. I might have a little time in the coming, well, not really. I'm looking at my schedule. Man, I'm so jam-packed. Nah, I just don't have time. I don't know. I'll see it at some point on Max, probably. I hear it's good. I hear it's worth seeing. Ardent, Marshall Sci-Fi's miniseries was pretty good. Ardent, haven't seen the new one yet. Marshall at Ardent, I agree with you. You know, it's part of the problem is movies are just not that important anymore. And for me, so much in Hollywood has been a betrayal of comedy, of creativity, of everything that it was about that was good, that I just don't have time to waste on something that even has the smallest, slightest chance of being bad. I just won't waste my time. You know, I will wait an extraordinarily long time before I finally see something, and only when it's super, super convenient for me. It's not like it was back in the day. Now there's so much entertainment just to get me through the day. I don't really need it. You know, I was following so many TV shows before I unplugged. I don't miss them at all. And I still haven't seen the ending of Archer. I kind of want to see that. I've completely abandoned Rick and Morty. I'm outraged that they've jettisoned the creator. Not that he may or may not deserve it, but he hasn't been arrested for anything. So I think he should come back, or you hypocrites should end the show. Hypocrites. You are hypocrites for keeping that show alive without him, in my view. If you're so high and mighty that, oh, Justin Roiland did something untoward, and then, oh, we can't work with a man like that. Oh, well, you're going to cancel his show? Oh, no, there's too much money in it. Go F yourselves. This Hollywood high horse, it infuriates me to no end. Either work with the guy and say he hasn't been convicted of anything, or say we won't work with him anymore because even though he hasn't been convicted, we feel we can't in good conscience promote him. And he'll come back in some way, probably quietly through the back door doing the voice of a character or something. You know, after they feel, well, enough people have forgotten, we'll let you back in. Ardent, I won't pay for New Dune, given there's apparently a continuity breakage in it. Oh, I don't like that. See, I was all psyched to see Ghostbusters until I heard about the lesbian romance. To me, Ghostbusters is more important than Dune, by the way. I still haven't seen Afterlife, and I'm sure it's on HBO Max by now. But I kind of looked at the best parts, and I don't know. I feel like if I see Afterlife, it's going to make me mad, and I kind of don't want to be mad about Ghostbusters. I know that I'm not going to like Frozen Empire. Like, I 100% know that I'll hate it. Number one, because of that lesbian romance. It already makes me angry. Number two, because Kumail Nanjiani's in it, and I don't think he should have been in it. Same thing with Patton Oswalt. Two guys who shouldn't be in it. Or, if they're going to be in it, they should be the Ghostbusters. Right? It should have been Patton Oswalt, Nuan Mujani. I can't say his name. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of his name. I just can't say it. So those two, and then, I don't know, two other comedians of that era, maybe Thomas Lennon. I tell you, Thomas Lennon and Ben Grant write the screenplay and star, I'd see that. The Reno guys, those guys are funny. They're still funny. Put Clemmy in it from, what's the show now? The Goldbergs. And she was on Reno too. She'd be good in it. Not as a secretary, make her one of the Ghostbusters. I'd totally see that. I would totally see the cast of Reno 9/11 doing Ghostbusters. 100%. The Ghostbusters, you pick four of them. Would be Thomas Lennon, Ben Grant, Clemmy, I can never remember her name, and I can't think of the guy's name. Oh, God. Jesus. I can't think of the guy's name. I want to say Cedric, but it's not Cedric the Entertainer. He's a different name. And even the guy who does the voice of Daryl Gribble should be in it too. Maybe as a villain or something like that. Oh, it'd be great. Those guys are funny. Marshall J2. I haven't been to the movies since Marvel's Endgame, which I was very disappointed. Movies so expensive these days. Yeah, that's part of it for me too. I don't want to pay $14-15 to see a movie and I go, they're too long. I would rather pay $10 and see a nice short movie and be home and on my way or at the diner complaining about it. And comedies need to be short. The idea of a short movie, by the way, was to do something in 90 minutes so you could show it, clean up the theater, and get the next group of patrons in under a half hour. So you're showing a movie every 2 hours, right? So the movie starts at, 10:30 in the morning for the first showing, early showing, let's say. It's over by noon. You get the lunch crowd in by 12:30. You show it again. Then it's over by 2:30, and then you just keep going every 2 hours, show the damn thing. You just keep running people through. The problem is not enough people are going to see movies. So they have to raise the price to keep the profit margin. And it's not working. It didn't work in comics. Everything, I go back to comics. Every mistake comic books make, it seems like the entertainment industry movie goes, hey, look at that mistake. Let's do that. We'll raise the prices and give you less. And that's what they did in comics. Ardent, last movie I went to in theaters was supposed to be the Infinity War. Ended up in Deadpool 2 instead. Worked out. Yeah, that's a good one. I'd like to see an Afro Samurai live action. Perhaps. Didn't really read it. I think I met the guy at a show. I think I met him. I'm almost sure I did. Because I remember flipping through Afro Samurai stuff at a table. I think it was the guy. I think it was the creator. Didn't really chat him up too much. I just said, oh, that's kind of weird. Black Samurai. And he was like, yeah, that's my thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I walked away. I'm a tough sell. In his defense, I'm a tough sell. And he didn't have any dialogue. It was all art. I mean, the art looked nice. So. But yeah, I mean, what did I see in theaters last? God, I can't even remember the last time I went to the theaters. I know the last movie I saw was No Hard Feelings. But I saw that on my computer right here. In the theater. God, I can't even remember. It's been a long time. Ardent. Basing that off the Spike TV show. I guess that's the same thing. God, what did I see in the movie theaters last? It would have had to have been something that was only in theaters for a while that I desperately wanted to see. I know I went to the Batman, to the theater to see the Batman, but then I got pissed off because they were charging an extra dollar, and I left. I can't think of the movie I saw last, doggy. Yeah, it's been so long. I know I did see Endgame in the theaters, which I thought was fine. The problem with Endgame is the same problem with a lot of movies that big. You could tell there's a little scrapbooking going on in that movie. It's just that it's mostly payoffs, so I was fine with it. I hated the scene with the female Avengers. I hated that. I didn't like that they were ending things. And I didn't like they kind of let Ant-Man's story... It looked like Ant-Man was going to solve the problem at one point in that movie. And I thought, oh, this will be interesting. Ant-Man saves the day. And then they just kind of drop that part of the movie. It's in there, but it doesn't go anywhere. So, that would be one of the few movies I would say it was fine to have that many characters. But not in Ghostbusters. Not in the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. In that case, you would have had to... What I would have said for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, either do what the critical drinker said, do a pass the torch movie with just the old Ghostbusters and the new ones, and then transition them into a role, the old Ghostbusters, where you're not going to see them much anymore. Right? So, Ray could be the mentor character, and then, I don't know, Venkman could be the guy who goes off and gets a TV show, and then, Ernie Hudson's character, I don't even know what you do with him, quite frankly. LeMay, the last movie I watched in theaters was Fences because my mom wanted to see it. We didn't like it. I don't remember that movie. Ardent, nobody learned from Spider-Man 3. Yeah, that was another problem movie. Like, they started this pattern of, well, we had one villain in the first movie, and then we had two villains in the second movie. Well, we need three villains in the third movie. No, you didn't. You absolutely did not need to do that. You have to raise the ante, but you don't have to do three. You don't have to raise it that way. Right, Joan? Ooh, you're so cute. You're too cute to ignore. How'd you get to be so cute? With Ghostbusters, I think it's too late to fix it, really. I think they'll dither around with it until you finally till people hate it, and then maybe you might get a Ghostbusters TV show that'll be halfway decent. Right? Again, you have to give it to comedians and just let them run wild with it. Stormy, last movie I saw in theaters was Dark Knight. Wow, that was a while ago. That wasn't bad. I like that movie. Ardent, can you imagine how bad it would have been with the Sinister Six in a movie? Well, if you plan it, it could work, but it would mean that, Michael Keaton would be in it, and if Michael Keaton is the Vulture in the Sinister Six, it probably means he's the lead villain, and the other guys are subordinate to him, or you have to set it up in such a way that by the time you get to a Sinister Six movie, you already know all the characters, and then they all have a scene, and then, Spider-Man beats them. You can make it work. But, yeah, if you just launched into a Sinister Six movie, I think it'd probably be a disaster. It depends on how you would do it, though. I mean, we kind of got that with No Way Home, right? I mean, you had Doc Ock. You got Green Goblin. You got a bunch of guys. So that was kind of fun. But then you had a million Spider-Man. But you need to, if you're going to do something like the Sinister Six, you got to plan for it. These guys don't plan for anything. They're too busy, like, behind the scenes, they're negotiating all kinds of things, right? So, and this sounds insane, but it's true. You will literally have guys, their agents are arguing for more screen time, right? So, Ardent, wouldn't have been Keaton, though? This was the plan during the Amazing Spider-Man series with Andrew Garfield. Oh, then I don't know what would happen. So you have agents who are literally saying, well, my client will be in the movie, but how much screen time does he get? And they're literally counting the minutes of screen time. It's a little harder to make a movie work if you have to have, 22 minutes, let's say, of a movie dedicated solely to this particular actor if he doesn't have a role that's worth 22 minutes. I worked on a movie where that was an issue, I'll say. I can't say much more than that. But, when you have a big star and they demand more screen time and their role doesn't require it, that's a problem. Because now you've jammed in a bunch of scenes that, don't make any sense. You also have actors who want to do certain things. Like, for instance, Harrison Ford wanted to die at the end of Return of the Jedi. And they told him no. Well, so goes the rumor. Imagine how that would have changed things, right? Good luck making the horrible movies you made today without Harrison Ford. Probably would have been a good thing looking back on it, but so you when you're dealing with these actors and everything, you're changing the script based on needs that have nothing to do with the story. Nothing. They literally have nothing to do with the story. I've worked on, again, I can only say so much, but I'll say I was involved in a project in which early on, and it didn't get very far, the producer's girlfriend had to have a line, and I was just like, I don't know where I'm going to work this in. This is an issue, but okay. And then it becomes like, well, my girlfriend has to have a line, but it has to be good, and it has to be cool, and it has to be this, and it has to be that. And it's like, those are parameters that have nothing to do with the story. The only thing the actors and script should do is serve the story. That's it. The film should serve the story. When it starts serving the other way around, this is why you get problems. Now, there are exceptions. Sometimes a movie is so poor that an actor who's bossing the director around, let's say, actually makes the movie better. So I think you probably have a lot to thank Robert Downey Jr. for the Marvel movies in general, because the rumor is he's quite involved. So lucky for us, it seems that Robert Downey Jr. kind of knows his way around a story and is willing to take a back seat and is so, quite frankly, good at his job, it kind of doesn't even matter. Maybe a lesser actor in his role would have ruined it. I don't know. Marshall J2. Everyone said Civil War is going to be a big hit. Already heard so many awesome things, but as for me, not really catching my attention yet. That movie looks terrible. And I'll tell you why. It makes no sense. Because I think the story is California and Texas unite to push back on a president that's out of control. I mean, it's all Trump. It's all Trump. That's all it is. And Nick Offerman plays the fascist president, and I'm sure he's going to be taking pot shot after Trump, and it's all going to be, see what'll happen if Trump gets elected? We can't let that happen. Oh no! So they're ham-fisted BS. Again, it all comes back to the writing. If you've got a bunch of writers who can't write, doesn't matter. And if they're writing and they're actually good, but they live in a world of their own fantasies, political fantasies, like, who are the guys who greenlit Jimmy Kimmel going to meet with ex-convicts to talk about what Trump's life would be like in jail. Like, that to me was one of the dumbest things ever to put on television. But we're in the last days of television, so it makes sense. So imagine you say, oh, Jimmy, wouldn't it be hilarious if you met with these convicts and they talked to you about how Trump would be treated terribly in prison? First off, Trump's not going to prison. People like him don't ever go to prison. He knows that. We all know that. He's not going to prison. But let's imagine we lived in a crazy enough universe that Donald J. Trump not only gets convicted, but then is sent to actual prison. If that happened, yeah, you know what would happen. I mean, they would basically be out to kill him. They would just set him loose in the populace and let the prisoners kill him. And they'd be falling all over themselves to kill him just for the cred. Now, some of them would be falling all over themselves to protect him, but in the end, if they threw Donald Trump in jail, it would only be for one reason, to kill him. That would be the end of it. Well, it wouldn't be the end. It would be the beginning. Then you get your civil war, but that's another story. So these people are living a fantasy world. He's not going to prison. And if he did go to prison, they wouldn't put him in with the population unless they were just like, unless we go full-blown banana republic, like, okay, we're going to throw him in prison, he's going to die, then we're just going to start throwing people who don't like in prison, they're going to die. You might as well just throw up your hands and start working on your resistance slogans, because at that point, it's on. But it's not going to happen. I don't think they're that crazy yet. They want to try to make it accidentally happen. Like, oh, it wasn't our fault. We don't have any. Oh, he got put in the general population. Oh no, how did that happen? Like, they'd love for that to, be a mistake in the paperwork or something, but that's not going to happen either. They know how that would look. Yeah, Civil War will not be a hit because half the country won't go see it. And the other half of the country that is the potential audience for it either A, won't go see it because it'll just be like, I don't want to see that, I already know what's going to happen. Because they're partisan, but they're not stupid. And then the people who go see it, people want to go see good movies. That you're going to see a movie that just preaches politics to you for 90 minutes? I don't think you're going to want to see that. Arden, I don't know about Civil War. A team between Cali and Texas seems far too much for suspension of disbelief. Good lefty impression. Trump would just pay every inmate off. Guy's a billionaire. They couldn't hope to Epstein him. LeMay, at worst, he will get the Martha Stewart treatment. Yeah, at worst. I don't even think he'll get that. It'll be like the worst case scenario right now, and this is what I'm worried about, is he gets in and then the Republicans lose both houses of Congress. That would be a disaster. Because then they'd impeach him on day one, and that would be the end. They'd kick him right out. Exactly. Yeah, they'd kick him right out of office. That could be the plan right now. That they're going to say, well, we can't beat him in the general election, but we can beat everybody else in the senator and representative elections. But hopefully they won't. We'll see. But yeah, Civil War looks atrocious. I think there'll be a lot of memes. I think they'll meme it up all day long, but I don't think people are going to be breaking down the doors to go see Civil War. I think people in the media will talk about it as if a lot of people saw it. Just like a lot of media talked about a certain movie with a magical society. I'm sure that's on the list, and I'm going to have to say it later, but I'll keep myself from saying it now. But everybody talked about that movie, but nobody went to see it. Number 3, Dune Part 2, dropping from number 2, 11 million. Oh, and getting back to Ghostbusters before we move on, it dropped by 65%. So that is a bad sign for Ghostbusters. It will probably make its money, but it's basically done. Ardent, there's already lots of memes. Ardent, say it. I will. I'll get to saying it later. So Dune 11.1. So they'll definitely do another sequel. But I think they should stop at 3 because it's gonna be tough to make that third book as epic. I don't know. $626 million. That's not too shabby. That's money. Kung Fu Panda 4, they may never stop making this movie. $347 million. And it only cost $85. So I totally see a Kung Fu Panda 5 in the future. So good on Jack Black, I guess. Ardent, oof, big drop. Only time guys hear lesbian scene and nope out. Yeah, I mean, it's just with so many people in the damn movie, it's not even time. I mean, like, and it's between two young girls. Like, it's creepy. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that. You know? Like, I've goofed around on some of my trailer things about, like, oh, it's two lesbians. Weird. I'm just goofing around. Like, I really don't want to see that. Like, if I want to see two girls kissing, I'm going to find a video with two strippers kissing. But, adult strippers. But, like, what do you see that for? I don't want to see two straight people, teenagers making out. You know? The purpose of the romance in a movie is to facilitate things. It didn't even seem like that romance facilitates anything. Other than, oh, look, we put a lesbian in it. Like, stop. Stop. If it doesn't service the story, it doesn't belong in a movie. That's it. That's the only thing. If it doesn't move the story forward, throw it away. Number 5 is Immaculate. 3.2 million. This is the second week. A drop of 39%. So, I don't know. It's at 12 million worldwide. Probably didn't cost a lot of money to make. So, maybe? Ardent LOL, why are they putting Pornhub in my Ghostbusters? Yeah. Well, it wasn't that racy, I don't think, but Marshall J2, are you going to see the Godzilla vs. Kong when it comes on the streaming? Yeah, probably. I still haven't seen the other ones. There's so many movies I haven't seen. I'm very selective, and here's how I see movies now. You know, I'm doing work. I get ahead enough, and I'm just too burned out to write. And I say, well, maybe I'll watch a movie tonight. What's available? And then I start looking at movies. And then almost instantly I go, oh, 2.5 hours? Nah, it's too long. I don't want to sit through that thing. And then I just go, I find like short movies that are good. And then I might watch one. It's a very tight window for me. So, Godzilla versus Kong, maybe. That's probably not a long movie. But I'm not a huge fan of just seeing... I mean, I used to watch the old Godzilla. It all looks the same to me. I do really want to see Godzilla -1. Because everybody raves about that movie. So, like, that to me is like, prime ice cream. Like, I only eat the best ice cream now. Like, I don't want to eat crap ice cream. It's like a waste of my time. And my health. Right? I'm 58 years old. I shouldn't be eating a lot of ice cream. But when I do eat ice cream, I want it to be top notch. Same thing with cake. Same thing with any goodies. Like, I don't want to eat cheap goodies anymore. Like, I was a kid back in the day. I'd eat, well, you give me sugar, I eat it. But now, I go, Skittles, no thanks. I'll wait until somebody comes along with Giardi chocolate or something. You can throw those Skittles in the trash for all I care. Skittles suck. There, I said it. Um, so when I'm sure Godzilla versus Kong is, it's a movie you gotta see. Maybe I'll see it. Godzilla -1 though is definitely on the list. Ardent, I never got into the big monkey nuclear lizard movies. They're okay. They're all the same. Godzilla is coming. He is stepping on my house. Oh. And he steps on a bunch of stuff, and then something happens at the end to make him go away. The end. And there's a bunch of scenes with scientists talking about how will we get rid of Godzilla this time? Perhaps if we cross the streams, or whatever they say. Perhaps if we blow up a nuclear reactor right in front of him, it'll make him angry and it'll go away. Yes, we shall do that, but one of us must sacrifice ourselves. No. Then they spend 30 minutes talking about it, and then they do it anyway. Number 6, Toulouse Square. What the hell is this? This looks like a Hindi movie. No poster or anything, huh? 2.5 million. No international box office? I don't know what this is. Oh, I have to go to the IMDb for this one. What the heck is this? It's got to be an Indian movie. Yeah, oh. Toulouse Square. Yeah, totally. Toulouse has his life is turned upside down. What? Toulouse as his life is turned upside down following a mysterious murder. God, that's... I guess English was your second language, whoever wrote that synopsis. So I guess it's a comedy? I guess. It looks kind of crazy and fun. There's a mysterious murder and his life is turned upside down. So, is it in English? I don't know. Starboy Sadu in Toulouse 2. So that's 2. So that's what's going on in Indian movies. Ardent, Ghostbusters versus Godzilla, I'm in. Yeah, that would be fun. That would make perfect sense. Why not? Like, that's what Hollywood should do. If you're going to remake stuff and reboot everything endlessly, that's 100% what you should do. You should look at all the various IPs you have and say, which ones can we cross over that nobody thought to cross over, right? Like Aliens versus Predator should have worked, but they effed it up. Ardent should be squared? Oh, maybe. So got Ghostbusters versus what? Let's see what Warner Brothers has. I'm going to go over to Max. Alright. So let's see what they can cross over with Ghostbusters. So any of this stuff could cross over with Ghostbusters. So this stuff's too new. It probably have to be something old. Matrix wouldn't work. I wouldn't do that. Batman wouldn't work. Although they're in New York, so there's a bit of a thing there. Harry Potter wouldn't work. Space Jam wouldn't work. DC? What do you got at DC? There's not a lot of supernatural characters in DC that are really that big, so I don't know. The Nanny. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Fran Drescher. Barbie, no. Bunch of new shows nobody cares about. I mean, you could take characters from like funny movies and make them Ghostbusters. Might be fun. I don't know, I don't know in terms of the royalties if that would work. Sopranos, no, that wouldn't really work. Yeah, not a lot of... See, one of the things studios do is they try to keep from doing the same movies. Oh, you got Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo and the Ghostbusters. That might work. It'd be fun. Marshall, you know they're going to make another Godzilla versus Kong since this one is doing so well. The best one in this Legendary Monsters Godzilla 2014 and Kong's Skull Island. Ardent, Evil Dead, Ghostbusters? I could see that. And you have Ash in it. That'd be great. Ash in the Ghostbusters? I'd totally do that. Constantine? Maybe. Maybe. Constantine, I don't know, didn't really get it, you know. I don't know if it's big enough, but Ash is certainly perfect for the Ghostbusters. Scooby-Doo and the real Ghostbusters could work. It absolutely would work, yeah. Yeah, or live-action Scooby-Doo meets Ghostbusters. Big Bang Theory. No, that really wouldn't work. Although maybe you could have one of the guys from the Big Bang Theory be the replacement for Spengler. You know, that would be pretty funny if you got the lead geek from the Big Bang Theory, and it was actually his character, and he became the scientist in the Ghostbusters. That would be pretty funny. Uh-oh, Marshall J2, they redacted your message. They're on to us. Quick, say something nice about transgender people. Happy Easter, by the way. Anyhow, moving on to number 7, Arthur the King. 2.4 million in its third week. This is a wholesome movie, looks fine. It's about a doggy. 19 million, probably not really making money. Ardent, oh no, oh please no. TBBT was such trash. Number 8, dropping from 6, Late Night with the Devil. I kind of want to see this. 2.2 million. I can't decide if it's going to be any good. It doesn't look like it's doing great. It feels definitely like a streaming movie. Number 9, Crew. 1.7 million. Again, no movie poster. What the hell? I gotta go over here and look it up. Oh, this is another Indian movie. Crew. Oh, wow, that's a hot crew. Look at this hot crew. That's a crew. So I guess they're stewardesses? Hot stewardesses? Risk it, fake it, steal it. All right. Hey. Marshall J2. I really like the Constantine TV show. Only last one season, then got canceled. I heard good things about it. But, you know, part of the problem is the moment something hits, it gets, like, the studio doesn't want to, like, you know, Batman should have his own TV show. I think we all know Batman should have his own TV show. It should be Batman, and it would easily run 10 seasons. 100%. A Batman TV show would be absolutely gangbusters. It would run probably more like 20 years. But they're not doing that. They won't. They should. If they had a Batman in the CW, you know, like a real Batman, probably would have made the whole network. But no, they want to save it for the movies and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, maybe now we'll finally get a Batman show, like, now that nobody cares. But we'll see. Ardent. LOL Boondock Saints versus Ghostbusters. I don't know. There's not any supernatural stuff in the Boondock Saints, but could be fun, I guess. Stranger Mosh is here. Welcome. That's a license to print money. Which one? Ardent. Matt Ryan's Constantine was great. The character ended up on Legends of Tomorrow, where he really didn't belong. LeMay. Punisher also. Well, Punisher's Marvel, but would be fun to see a Punisher network TV show. But there's another character. Really, legend has it. I have to say that. Legend has it. The Punisher is really based on another character. That it was not an original concept, and that the guys at Marvel just basically took the concept from a book series called Mac Bolan, the Executioner. and he was the Punisher, except the only difference was basically he didn't have a skull t-shirt. He just had a black turtleneck. So someone should license Matt Bolan, the Executioner, and essentially do a Punisher series on TV. I think it would be huge. I think it would do very well, and it would be great. Will they do it? Probably not, because it's too good of an idea. Some ideas are just too good for current Hollywood. Stranger Mosh. I liked the 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover idea that was rumored to happen. I guess I don't know. Like, to me, it would be the Men in Black with something science fiction-y. See, part of the problem is if you're gonna have a crossover, so like when Marvel and DC had their crossover, that worked because first they're both comics, but they're at kind of equal levels. They always sort of have been. If one, IP is way up here and the other's way down here, it's going to make it harder for the studio because the bigger IP is going to be dragging up the smaller one, and unless the studio owns both of them, they're not going to want to do it. But I'm not sure. 21 Jump Street and Men in Black, they might be owned by the same company. I don't know. And then you don't get the original guys, which I also think is a problem. Ardent, Punisher versus Ghostbusters sounds like a terrible anime. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Punisher is crime, and Ghostbusters supernatural. It has to be supernatural. You know what? It should have been like Ghostbusters versus Dark Shadows. Like the Dark Shadows vampire. But nobody knows who he is, and the Johnny Depp movie crashed and burned, so... LeMay, that reminds me, they had a Supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover a long time ago. They did? That sounds interesting. Carter Chain, MIB versus Star Trek. I don't know. That seems like they're in the wrong time periods. Ardent Party. Men in Black meets the Martian Manhunter. Men in Black and my favorite Martian would be my choice, but sure. Marshall J2, how you feel about this Joker 2 as for Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn and supposed to be a musical? I'm less and less enamored with it. The only thing that's keeping me hanging on is the fact that Todd Phillips, the director of the first one, has directed it. So I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm very skeptical that it won't be total trash. Because on the one hand, I gotta respect him going in a different direction. On the other hand, I kind of hate Lady Gaga. I kind of do. I don't like her. I don't really like her music. She's kind of annoying. I kind of don't want her to succeed. I just don't like her. I actually like Weird Al Yankovic's parody song of hers better than her original song. So I don't think Harley Quinn's a good character. I don't think you should be doing a Harley Quinn Joker movie at all. So in terms of a sequel to the Joker, I don't even know what you do. What I would like to see eventually is the Joaquin Phoenix Joker versus the Robert Pattinson Batman. I think they're kind of in the same universe. The thing would be, though, Joaquin's character would have to be aged quite a bit, right? It would have to be like, that was young Joker, and now it's the modern day. And it's young Batman versus old Joker. Because the Joker is supposed to be older than Batman. That to me sounds like it would be a winner. Lady Gaga doing a bunch of music sounds like they're trying to drag females into the Joker movie. That's a bad strategy. I don't know how many times we have to tell you that women don't like comics or comic books. They don't like Harley Quinn either. The only girls who like Harley Quinn are narcissist who like dressing up as Harley Quinn. Look at me, I'm Harley Quinn. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm Harley Quinn. Yeah, I can see that. Hi. I don't care. And Harley Quinn is so... I'm so sick of Harley Quinn. I really am. Like, it was a great character back in the day when it was on the cartoon. And it was even great when they did the sequel, Batman and Beyond. Or Batman Beyond, right? Yeah, that's what it's called. Batman Beyond. And they had the sequel characters where she had two granddaughters who were like the new Harley Quinns, and she was like a bitter old woman. That was awesome. But are we going to get a fun Harley Quinn in this movie? Probably not. It's a stupid story anyway. Like the Joker, Todd Phillips might make it work. He made it work on the first one. Okay, he made it work on the first one. Can he do it on the second one? I don't know. Because the surprise is already hit, and it was a great surprise in the first movie. You can't do that twice. Maybe he could try it again. I don't know. That's number one. Number two, I'm not really confident about the music. I'm really not. Music is in the toilet now, and so it's either going to be old music that I kind of like, redone by Lady Gaga, maybe, or it's going to be new music that I don't like. I don't see how it could be good. I really don't. But again, Todd Phillips did such a great job with the first movie. I'm willing to give it a shot. But the story is stupid. The story, for those of you who don't know, the origin story of Harley Quinn was she was the Joker's psychiatrist. She fell in love with him, went crazy, and then joined him in her life of crime. Something they almost never mention in Harley Quinn's, deal. So, for instance, you very rarely see Harley Quinn, like, use her knowledge of medical issues to do something, which probably should happen. But it didn't even happen in the cartoon where she was revived. And she was revived. She was originally the Joker's daughter in an alternate universe in DC. And then they took the IP and they revamped it. Stranger Mosh, Fast and Furious, and John Wick. Only if John Wick kills everybody in the Fast and Furious. Ardent, LOL, only if they sick Keanu on the crew. Sick Keanu on the crew. Yes, I agree. Stranger Mosh, Lady Gaga's persona and opinions are annoying, but she is talented as a singer-performer. I'll give her that. She is. I can recognize her talent. I just don't particularly like her music. And it's like, seeing her makes me just go, It's kind of like, once these celebrities reach a certain point with their ridiculous opinions and behavior, I get to the point where the moment I see them, I cannot take them seriously as a performer anymore. Because they're doing way too much outside in the real world. I can only see them as the people they are, not the people they're playing. There are exceptions to that rule. Like, Colin Farrell is a freaking chameleon. His makeup on the Penguin is off the charts amazing. I didn't even recognize the dude. And there are a few actors like that. They immerse themselves so deeply in their role, it doesn't matter what they do. Another guy sort of is Larry David. Like, Larry David's coming out with his toxic opinions now. He's really driving me to the point where I won't watch the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I'm trying not to listen to him. But he kept his mouth shut most of the time while he was doing his comedy, I'll say. He didn't totally shut his mouth, but most of the time. But, like, now it's almost like, I don't care, I'm off the show now. I wish he'd shut up, by the way. Ardent. Hailstorm does a great metal cover of Bad Romance. Psycho goth chicks like Harley Quinn. Stranger Mosh. Todd Phillips' movie also relied heavily on its setting. Gotham really did feel like a very troubled city in the 70s. Yeah. Yeah, and that he captures beautifully. I kind of don't understand why he's going down this 70s route. But if he goes down with 70s music, maybe. But like Lady Gaga to me is the wrong person for that. Like she doesn't represent 70s music. Like if David Bowie was alive, like he'd have been the perfect person to like bring in to do all the music. Oh my god, it would have been friggin' awesome. But he probably wouldn't have done it either. He probably would have, no, I don't do that anymore. But someone like that would have been amazing. In terms of, I also don't want to see a character try to outshine Joaquin Phoenix. Because number one, I don't think Lady Gaga has a chance in hell of outshining Joaquin Phoenix. But she's going to attempt to, and that's probably going to piss me off. Ardent, Harley Quinn is the Stockholm Syndrome superheroine. She's a villain. Damn it. Super villain. Ardent, Hollywood needs a guy walking around to every celeb who every time they offer dumb opinions, he tells them the F up. Yeah. Yeah, I would be willing to do that. I would, Lady Gaga, before you say anything, before you continue, you just come over here. Shut the F up. Shut up. No, don't say that. No, don't say that. I know that's your opinion. You don't have to say it. Nobody needs to know. Just shut up. Shut up. Just say thank you. Just say thank you for watching my movie. Just say that. Okay? Just say it. And then they say thank you. Thank you for watching my movie. And that's all she has to say. That's all she has to say, everybody. All right, that's it. Press conference over. Then they'll be talking about me. Like, Lady Gaga was dragged out of the room by a very hostile press guy. Marshall J2. What's your thoughts on Lady Gaga as actress? I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything good. What did I see her in? I don't think I've seen her in anything now that I think about it. I just think, she doesn't have a very expressive face. So it's very difficult for actors, I think singers, to make the move to actress and vice versa. It's a different animal. Lady Gaga seems to be doing okay. She's been in a lot of movies. She's doing better than Madonna, I'll give her that. Madonna's absolutely cancer in a movie. God, she's the worst. I saw her in Dick Tracy. Jesus. But I don't think I've seen a Lady Gaga movie. I saw her in that Simpsons episode, but that's kind of unfair. It's just her voice. But she's kind of annoying in it, quite frankly. And she's playing herself. Ardent, oh God, it's going to be a disco Joker movie? Yeah. Well, it's the 70s. That might actually save it. The music might actually save it. The music might be awesome, at least to me, because I like 70s music, so. Stormy, Lady Gaga sucks as an actress. And now Stormy comes roaring in. Lady Gaga sucks as an actress, and let me tell you why. She should stick to music. I suspected as much. Thank you for confirming my suspicions for me. I like how you were quiet all that time and then came right in with, Lady Gaga, it sucks as an actress. Stranger Moosh. I think Justin Timberlake did all right for a bit. Yeah, you know what? That is true. But I would say he's probably a better actor than he is a singer. But that's just me. Stormy, Star is Born remake with Bradley Cooper. Yeah, I didn't see that. I have zero interest in that. Ardent, Zeppelin, better than disco all day. True. Very true. Yeah, Justin Timberlake's okay. Yeah, I kind of don't take his music seriously at all, though. Whereas Lady Gaga's music, even though I don't like it, I understand it's a little more serious, right? She's like Madonna level at least. To me, Justin Timberlake wasn't that level. I know he made a lot of money and he's popular, but not like Madonna popular, I would say. I would say he's probably a more successful actor than he is a singer, but I mean, money-wise, that's probably not true, but... yeah, I don't have high hopes for Joker 2, but I want to kind of like it because I want Todd Phillips to do well because I think he is a good director. But then again, let's see. He did The Hangover. Did he do The Hangover 2? I think he did. Is that him? Yeah, and that movie sucks. Hangover 2 sucks. Hangover 3. I'm not sure if he did that one. I don't think he did. But and Hangover 3 is really bad. Yep, he did that one too. So Todd is capable of directing terrible, terrible movies. Hangover's great. I could watch that. Hangover's one of the movies I could watch. I couldn't watch it every day like Animal House. God, Animal House. You won't ever hypnotize me. Just put Animal House on and I'll slowly start, my eyes will slowly start being drawn to the TV that it's on, and I will tune out of just about everything to watch it. You know, Hangover, like, I could watch that movie at least once a year. It's a solid flick. It's very funny. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Viva Frey's Law Stream has finished. Now I can join my other favored Sunday night entertainment. Sad to report, I have not made any progress on the Fife Stew short script we discussed last week. That's a great callback. Great callback, Alex. Thank you. Arden says hello. Yeah, so... Yeah, let's look at Lady Gaga for a second in the movies. I don't even know what she's been in. First off, I hate her name. Lady Gaga. So pretentious. Arnett, we were talking about Brad Williams earlier. Comedian and midget. So here's Lady Gaga. So, upcoming, the Joker movie. And, so, House of Gucci she was in. She looked okay in that. A lot of like video type stuff. Love for Sale. Oh, that's a music video. A Star is Born. American Horror Story. That show. Nah. Sin City. She was Bertha. A Dame to Kill For. Kinda don't remember. Muppets Most Wanted. That don't count because it's just her. Machete Kills. She was in that. The Simpsons she was in. Men in Black 3 she was in. She was an alien? I don't know. So, not a lot here worth crowing about. Gossip Girl she was in. Alex, where does everyone think the Hangover movies went bad? I didn't think much of part 2, but it wasn't terrible. Not as good as the original. I think it went wrong with... Here, I'll tell you. Okay, we're going to have this discussion. This is a long time in coming. Okay, here's where it goes wrong, Alex. Thank you for bringing it up. And I've been dying to say this. Zach Galifianakis is the problem. Because in the first movie, Zach's character is amazing. Right? And what does he do? He looks up to Bradley Cooper's character and he wants to be him. And he wants to be one of the guys, and that's why he does what he does and screws up everything. And the great thing about it is how Zach is trying to follow Bradley Cooper and trying to be him. That to me is the greatest thing about this movie. It's Zach's character. But then we get to the second movie, and Zach, they haven't followed up on it. They haven't followed up on it at all. So, what should have happened in this movie is we should have had a continuation of what happened in terms of Zach's character, right? So there's one of two ways you could go. The first way you could go is probably the most obvious way, and that is Zach, after the events of the first movie, wouldn't leave Bradley Cooper alone. And eventually, he went too far, and Bradley Cooper was like, get the F away from me. Like, he ruined something of Bradley's. Maybe he ruined a relationship or whatever. Whatever it was. Right? And for whatever reason, Bradley Cooper now hates the Zach character. Right? He hates him. And you've got the same setup in The Hangover. They got to get together for a wedding, but they're going to meet again. And Zach has to... Now Zach's trying to apologize for his behavior. Or you flip it on its head, and Bradley Cooper's character did something that made Zach Galifianakis mad, and now Zach hates him, and it's Bradley Cooper now trying to be like Zach, which would be very funny. I think that would be the best comedy outcome. Now it's the opposite, right? The first movie, Zach's following him like a lost puppy dog. Now it's Bradley Cooper trying to be like Zach. And he hates it, but he's trying to win over Zach for whatever reason. In the first movie, you've got Ed Helms and Heather Graham, and this was missing from the second movie too. Ed Helms got himself a terrible girlfriend who bossed him around, and everybody hated her, and then he hooks up with Heather Graham, and everybody's like, yay, he's not going to be with that horrible woman anymore. So maybe you bring in Heather Graham, and like now they're married, or they're going to get married, or whatever. Like, you continue the events of what happened in the previous movie, so it feels organic. So then when they get into trouble again, it works. I would have completely jettisoned, by the way, what's his face, Ken Jeong. Like, his character was too random. You don't want to bring him back in the next movie. Maybe you could have brought him back for 3, but I would have jettisoned him. I would have said, no, he's not coming into this movie. We need a new guy. Need a new criminal guy or whatever they get involved with. So you needed to stay away from the first movie. You needed to turn on its ear, and you needed to keep Zach Galifianakis from being a bad guy. You needed to still make him a sweet guy deep down, and they really didn't. I know I'm going off on this because it really pissed me off, because Zach's character turned into a mean guy. I think it's in the third movie that he beheads the giraffe, in a gag that's just too awful to even repeat. He's driving along with a giraffe and goes under a low underpass and beheads the giraffe. It's gross. And that pissed me off too, because he's being too stupid, and I could totally 100% see Zach pitching that idea and be like, oh, I want to do this. It'll be hilarious. He's really a meta comic, and you can't let a guy like that, in my view, set the pace of his character in a movie if you want him to be likable. He was likable in the first movie, I think, because he listened to the script. By the second movie, he was off the reservation and effing it all up. So I blame the Hangovers movies going off the reservation on Zach. Okay, sorry. Sorry for that, but I had to state my piece. Carter, at Arnott, you can't say midget anymore. It's offensive to midgets. Yeah, don't say midget. What are you, a midget? Stranger Mosh, I got a pitch. Reverse Planet of the Apes. Comedy where hyper-intelligent ape tyrant ends up on our world and has to help an awkward loser become a hero or ruler somehow. Josh Brolin as the ape. It's not a bad pitch. It's kind of like one of the Planet of the Apes movies was like that. Because one of the Planets of the Apes movies starts, I think it's the last original one, where they show up, like a group of characters from the Planet of the Apes shows up in our time when things are going awry, and the woman is pregnant with the first ape that's going to be Caesar, that eventually leads the apes. So it's not a bad pitch. Seriously. Ardent, reminder that in a crisis you can smack a cucumber across Gaga's face to slice it. Thank you. Kite is here. Hi, Kite. Howdy. Hi. How are all you? We're all fine. Thank you. Stormy, Hangover movies, they did more than one. LOL. Yes, they did 3. The first one's good, and the other 2 I hate. Ardent, hey, Kite. Carter, midget. Ardent, LOL. Still thinking about Ghostbusters. Put them up against Spectre or the Phantom Stranger. There's a challenge. I know what you do. Ghostbusters versus the Universal Monsters. So it's Ghostbusters versus Dracula the Wolfman, Frankenstein, and the Mummy. That to me would be That would be hilarious. Because it would be like Abbott and Costello meets the... You probably couldn't do it because it's Universal and they'd have to do a thing, but I think that could work. Number 10, Imaginary. I hate this movie because, again, it's one of these movies where they take toys and make them evil or something. 32 million, though. See? Horror movies, money in the bank. Horror movie is money in the bank. Always remember that, kids. You want to make a movie, you're starting out, make a horror movie. $13 million production budget. It's already made $32 million. Money in the bank. I'll get Disney solvent in 5 years. I'll make nothing but horror movies starting at about $13 million. That's it. You take the budget of a Captain Marvel. Let's see, how many movies would that be? 13, well, let's say 10 million to make the math easier. I'll make 20 horror movies at $10 million a piece, and you'll get at least a return of, I'll say 30 million. They'll each make $20 million. 20 times 20, $400 million. Money in the bank. You won't even have to advertise them very much. Ardent, LOL, once we have AI, Abbott and Costello meet the Ghostbusters. Perhaps. Oh no. Number 11, In the Land of Saints and Sinners. $1 million. Yeah, this is Liam Neeson. It's not getting good buzz. It's doing about $2 million. Looks like it was a return to form for him. Ardent, Marvel Zombies with the street level heroes like Luke Cage and Daredevil. I hate Marvel Zombies. I hate the whole concept. I think it's stupid. But I would like to see Marvel versus Zombies, where none of the Marvel characters die because they have superpowers. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense that anybody in the Marvel Universe would be killed by a zombie. None sense. 0 sense. Maybe a couple of the villains, you could have them get turned into zombies. You know, like a handful of the villains you don't care about. Oh no, they got superpowered zombies. We'll kill it. And they kill them. But no heroes. I don't want to see any heroes turned into zombies. Ever. No, I think Marvel Zombies is the dumbest concept ever. Should have never been greenlit. If I had greenlit that, I would have said, you can do Marvel Zombies as long as none of the heroes die. Like, none of the heroes die. Oh, what about the Hulk turning into a zombie? That makes no sense. None of the zombies should be able to bite through his skin. So, don't ever suggest it again. And if Bruce Banner gets turned into a zombie while he's Bruce Banner, then he wouldn't be able to turn into the Hulk anymore. It doesn't make any sense. Don't give the zombies superpowers. Ardent, all they need is Iceman. Frozen zombies, 0 threat. Yeah. Bleach Demon is here. Happy Easter. Yeah, I am that guy. Well, we said Happy Easter before you even got here, so there. It's an Easter live stream, everyone. Eat your chocolate. It's good for you. I had some chocolate. I had some ham. And I had a little Italian pastry my father bought in Brooklyn. He didn't know what it was called. It wasn't a cannoli. I said, you went all the way to Brooklyn? You didn't get cannolis? He's like, no, I got these things. I'm like, what are they? He goes, I don't remember what they're called. But they look good. They're okay. I would have rather had a cannoli from Brooklyn. He had some bread from Brooklyn, which was really good. And then he went on and on how the bread in Brooklyn was cheaper. I'm like, yeah, but you have to go all the way to Brooklyn for it. It was good bread, though. Ardent, hey, Bleach, we're all happy Christian or Christian adjacent here. Yes. I am not religious, but I like people who are religious and don't push their religion on me. If you want to be religious, that's fine. I'm respectful of religion, I think. Ardent, eclair better than cannoli? Sorry. Well, it depends on what you want. And it depends on the kind of eclair or cannoli you're talking about. So, you know, if I'm in the mood for something chocolatey, I, of course, would want an eclair. Because cannoli is not a chocolatey mix. Even if you get a chocolate cannoli, it's a lot lighter than that. But I defy you to eat a blueberry cannoli from Hamilton and not say it's the greatest thing ever. I eat those in the summer during blueberry season. It's delicious. So in the land of sinners and saints, or saints and sinners, it looks like a good movie. It looked like a good trailer. I don't know. The buzz isn't great. Cabrini did $1 million in its 4th week. I don't think this movie made money. 18 million worldwide. But it's the kind of movie that'll be shown in schools forever, probably, especially in Catholic school. Ardent, send me one. Yeah, I don't think it'll make it through the mail. That's the thing about cannolis. You have to eat them fresh. You have to eat them within probably 12 hours, or they start to break down. The shell gets soggy. And little known fact about cannolis, they were invented in Italy, and they're really supposed to be like, what's the story? It's like there were the original origin has to do with something about fertility. So yeah, they're supposed to be like penises. It's something like that I read a long time ago. Alex, I trust you all inspected your transmissions since we're supposed to pay them extra special attention. Something to do with road safety. Yes, I believe so. But it's still Easter. LeMay, I only heard a Christian YouTuber talk about that movie. It looks fine. Cabrini, I would say it. Ardent, Alex, that took me a second. Well, it is from Angel Studios. So it's a biopic about a historical figure who was pretty cool. Made by a studio that's not shy about doing the religious thing in it, because she was a sister, but she wasn't a nun. I think there were different rules. There's slightly different rules. There's like sisters and nuns, slightly different rules. Not sure how it works. I'm not Catholic. Number 13, Love Lies Bleeding. This movie lies bleeding. $642,000. It only made $7.5 million. Go F yourself, Kristen Stewart, you big mouth. Talk about turning me off to anything that Kristen Stewart would ever be in. She really opened her mouth on this one. And her stupid picture in a guy's underwear was gross. Like, she made herself so gross, I never want to see her in a movie again. I literally don't want to see her in a movie. Unless she's unrecognizable, like she was in that Princess Di movie. So annoying she was to promote it this way. Like, why couldn't you just promote the movie? Like, no, it's a really good movie. I know it's about a lesbian, gangster or whatever, but that doesn't mean it can't be a good movie. Like, if she had promoted it that way, I think people would have given it a chance. But no, no, no. She had to be, oh yeah, only bigots won't go see my movie kind of attitude. Yeah, go F yourself. I'm glad it failed. Hope nobody sees it on streaming. You big jerk. Um, that's my opinion. Ardent, yeah, different rules. Sisters beat you, nuns shame you. Bleach Demon, cool flow. Carter Chain, nuns never leave the monastery. Sisters go do charity services. Oh. Stranger Mosh, Christian Stewart is following the Ellen Page roadmap, only somehow stupider. Yeah, and then Elliot Page has a stupid movie out too, I think. I think she plays a man in it too, which is weird because I thought we were only playing the things that we were now, Hollywood. But Ellen Page looks incredibly unhappy. Like in every picture I see her, she just looks like incredibly unhappy. She from the beginning, the moment I started seeing interviews with Ellen Page, I said something off about her, something really off. And the fact that she's now touting how happy she is, and she looks even more depressed now, is bad. It's bad. I don't think she's a happy person, but that's just my opinion. Bleach Demon, hey son, at Carter. Carter Chain, at Bleach Demon. Demon, hi dad. Ardent, poor Ellen Page, R.I.P. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully she'll maybe, I don't know, realize she's made a mistake and, I don't know, get her life together. Realize that nobody cares who she sleeps with. No one cares. Literally no one. But who knows what happened to her behind the scenes. She started young. Some messed up people in Hollywood, apparently. Alex. Everyone can cleanse their palates with Nuns in the Run, starring Eric Idle. Oh, Nuns on the Run, starring Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane. Did I see that movie? It's... God, I know. I remember it. Is that where they're like... Don't they like rob a bank or something? And they disguise themselves as nuns? Stranger Mosh. Elliot Page is a case study for early 21st century sexual mental health crisis. Probably. Ardent. Oh, she definitely got diddled. Maybe. But like, to me, she ruined her career. It's like, you know, fine, go be gay. Half of Hollywood's gay. Who cares? But, I think part of it she did because maybe she thought it would help her career. It doesn't look like it's helping her career at all. You know, it just looks like for a short time she was bulletproof, and now, you know, they talk about putting her in movies. They talk all the time. And I still contend if they had swapped her out for Ezra Miller in The Flash, they could have made that work. But Ardent, Robbie Coltrane is awesome. Alex Ogle, bank robbers hide out in the nunnery. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I don't know if I saw it. I don't think I saw it. Stranger Mosh, I knew a friend who followed the same patterns. Naturally pretty, but somehow resented her own femininity. It's sad, really, because the whole transgender movement preys on cases like her. Yeah, it just seems like, you know, and she had a good career, like a solid career. She was working on a regular basis. What really, I think, screwed her up, really, I think she has TDS badly. I think some people have TDS so bad, it's literally a mental condition. I you know, when I first heard the term TDS, I thought, well, you guys are just goofing around. Like, someone like her, I think was really messed up. Like, she really believes her media. When she was on the Colbert Show and had that breakdown, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. That right there, I wish, like, Colbert had said, all right, calm down. You know, you're kind of going a little crazy here. Like something. Someone should have said something to her. Because, it's like no one is stopping her. No one is saying to her, don't you think you're going a little too far? I think she needs someone in her life to say, are you okay? I really do. Ardent, I feel great pity for Paige, no matter how I mock. Stranger Mosh, but that's a can of worms and subject I won't open on your stream. Heh. Alex at Ardent. Diddled is a word that the mainstream media needs to use more when referring to Hollywood. Alex Olgo. Ezra Miller played Trash Can Man in the CBS adaptation of The Stand. He fit the character so well, I don't think he had to act. Was that the one with Max Headroom? Or was that a different version of The Stand? I remember the one with Max Headroom and Gary Sinise was in it. But I don't remember the Trash Can Man. Yeah, so Ellen Page, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do about her, but she won't listen to anybody, I don't think. Part of the reason, like, money really warps you. I think money does more damage to people than anything. Alex Olgo, Max Headroom was the earlier film. That's the same part, though, right? Ardent. The one with Sinise was the cider one, I think. The older one, I think. Sorry, it was partially blocked. Alex, the good one with Rob Lowe's. Yeah. That's the one I saw. I didn't see the one after it. So he must have played the Max Headroom part. That was Trash Can Man. Ardent, Max Lauer, Max Headroom. Matt Lauer is Max Headroom? Is that his name? Why do I think Matt Lauer, the host of Good Morning America? Or do they just have the same name? Bleach Demon, Aztec Sacrifice, Ellen? No, I just think she thought, like, I'll say it like this. When I was in high school, I was under the impression that if you followed the rules in high school and did what the teachers told you to do and got good grades, then your life would be awesome. Like, that was what you had to do, right? So when I was in high school, I got great grades. But then right around senior year, I realized it didn't really work that way. Like, I started to suspect, wait a minute, I'm doing all the right things, but my life doesn't seem to be awesome. And I've already been accepted to colleges, and they haven't even seen, I could fail the rest of the year. They haven't even seen the rest of my grades. So grades are BS. Why did I do all this? And at that moment, like, I had a revelation, like, oh, nothing, this doesn't matter. I've been fooled. All these years I thought I was doing something good for myself, and I was just following these rules for nothing. And I think Ellen sort of went down that path, only in Hollywood. They told her, well, just do all these awesome things, and your life will be great, and your career will be great, and everything will be great. And so she did, but it's not working out the way she imagined, so now she's kind of stuck. Now, I didn't do anything to hurt myself. I just got mad and then changed tactics and said, well, I'm not going to be fooled again. Ellen kind of can't do that now. She's a little too invested in that bubble, or whatever you want to call it, that ideology. She's so invested in it. Now I don't know what she's going to do. You know, to pull out of it would be the end of her career. Oh, that would be the end of it. So, Ardent, same name or I screwed way up? Checking. Alex, yes, Ezra Miller, Matt, fewer, Max Headroom played Trash Can Man. Ardent, my bad, Matt, fewer. Oh, okay. Yeah, Max Headroom. I always remember Max Headroom. Who can keep these names straight in your head, right? I'm so bad with names. But let us move on. Alex Ogle at Ardent, another Canadian showing Americans how acting is done. They are pretty good actors, you Canadians. You Canucks. You crazy Canucks. Shatner's a Canadian. And look how good he is. One Life from Bleecker Street. That's the Anthony Hopkins movie, about $500,000. Did well overseas, where I guess people know who the main character is. Ardent, she's possessed by the ideology. If she survives long enough to detransition, she might be okay. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I'm kind of hoping she, she has so much money, she'll wake up one day and realize, what the F am I doing? I got millions of dollars. Why am I doing this to myself? And then she, then she goes the other way, which is, I got sucked into the ideology. I'm a victim. Everybody feel bad for me. Now I'm transitioning back, and everybody feels sorry for me. Which will be a slight improvement, I guess. And then maybe she'll go back to doing roles. Female roles. Bob Marley, One Love. $175 million. So this is money, I think. Never got a budget on this one. Bleach Demon. Just say no to frostbacks. Is that the racist term for Canadians? Problemista. I don't know how this movie. I don't know why this movie's back in theaters, but 1.8 million. I mean, it did not get an Oscar bump at all. Ardent, Shatner, Reynolds, Gosling, Alan Thicke, Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, etc. All Canadian. Yeah, what happened to Mike Myers? Haven't seen it. Man, that Love Guru really ruined him. Luca, another disaster. They re-released this movie, $220,000. Joan, what are you doing? Do not leave this room, you little turd. I know where you're going. If you're gonna pee anywhere, don't pee. Yeah, don't pee in the house, Joan. I'll just say that. Don't pee in the house. I was gonna say pee in here, but don't do that either. Just come over here. Just come over here. Come on. Come on. I'm not letting you out. So, Ardent, Canuck actually originated as a slur. Oh, I'm sorry. I will in the future use snow monkeys. Ardent, Gordon Pinsett sent great Newfoundlander and actor. Alex, for a feel-good moment, look up Nicholas Winton, the subject of One Life, and his appearance on BBC's That's Life. I think that's what the movie recreates, in fact. Because he's on a TV show in the past on the BBC. Migration, still in theaters. That's a Danny DeVito cartoon. That did pretty well. Ordinary Angels. Oh, wow. It's been in theaters 15 weeks, that Migration movie. Ordinary Angels didn't really do that well. $106,000. That's an Alan Richardson drama and Hilary Swank. Joan, you're getting... I'm going to grab you now. Get over here. No. Come here. Get in there. Sit here with me. Here, I'll tell you what. Be a good pup. I'll give you a treat. You want a treat? You want a nice treat? Okay, here you go. Have that treat and relax. That's a treat on credit, Joan. It's a treat on credit. Ardent, I don't care if you use Canuck. I'm not actually Canadian. I consider the Canadian government to be an occupying body. Alex at Ardent, I'll tell the owners of the Crazy Canuck restaurant near me. Bleach Demon, leaning into Canuck just for Ardent, LOL. Ardent, oh, turns out Elizabeth Taylor was Canadian. Really? I had no idea. Ardent, that's a lie, but Terry Hatcher is Canadian. She was very hot. Very hot, Terry Hatcher was. One of the hottest women ever in her prime. Not as much now, but back then, whew, smoke show, total smoke show. Fragile Flower premiered, $73,000. That looks That looks like an Indian movie as well. A lot of Indian cinema poking out here. 73,000, but that's only in 55 theaters. YOLO from Sony Pictures. Don't know why this is a thing. Oh, right. This is that sound. I always keep forgetting. It has such a weird title, YOLO. It's this weird samurai movie. Ardent, the first woman to break the internet. I believe it. And here it is. Like the title you've all been waiting for. I don't know how many more weeks it's going to be in theaters, but it's going right out. Man, it's dropping like a stone. The American Society for Magical Negroes. And that's the title, YouTube. Don't cancel me, bro. $54,000. It's only in 152 theaters. Dropped by 1,001 theaters. Should be dropped by 100% of all theaters, but $2.4 million. Oof. Oofa. Oofa. No idea what the budget is. But rumors are as high as 50 mil. But I don't think so. Probably like 20-ish. Somewhere between 10 and 20, I would guess. Store Bang. Terry Hatcher was very cute on MacGyver 1985 as Penny Parker. Let's take a look at Terry Hatcher. All right, this will be Terry Hatcher on MacGyver. There she is. That's an 80s hair. God, that's a terrible haircut. Ugh. She looks good, though. It was right after these haircuts. Right after these haircuts, she got much hotter. Carter Chain, that Civil War movie is coming out on the 12th. How do you think it's going to do? Oh, you missed that entire conversation. But briefly, I think 50% of the public absolutely have no interest in seeing it. MAGA. The other 50% of the public, about half of them don't want to see it. Partly because they just don't go see those kinds of movies, and partly because it's political and they don't want to see... They don't want to see a preachy movie. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to know that this movie was going to be a preachy piece of crap. And that leaves you about 25% of the movie going public, let's say. Part of them are going to be just too young to go see a movie like that. So I don't know how many people you got in this mix, but it's not many. Maybe you put it in an art house movie and hope for the best, but I don't think it's going to do well at all. So I think the media will talk about it just like they talked about the Society for Magical Negroes, the American Society for Magical Negroes, whatever it's called. They'll talk about it. They'll talk about it like it's the greatest movie ever, but the people who will go see it will probably go, that wasn't the greatest movie ever. It was just super preachy and annoying. Let's see. These aren't the pictures of Terry Hatcher I wanted to see. There we go. Bleach Demon. Curry flavored dysentery wood? I mean, Bollywood? I don't know what you mean by that, Bleach Demon. Ardent. The 80s hair. Yeah, I hate the 80s hair. Is this looks like Terry Hatcher now. She looks great. She's looking great. I gotta say. Still looking hot. Storebang, I missed the Dynasty's shoulder pads with the 80s Aquanet. Ardent, ha! Ardent, saw Aquaman 2. I will forever refer to it as Wet Panther. Yes. Sounds about right. See, here's a good shot of Terry. That's a good shot of her. That's very sexy. Good for you, Terry. Good for you. La Chimera. from Neon. Don't know what this is. It's got an old-timey movie poster. That sounds like a Spanish flick. It's only done $1 million, but it's only in 3 theaters. But that's not bad for only 3 theaters. That's pretty good. Oh wait, that 45,000 for 3 theaters domestically. Okay, a little more realistic. Carol Doda topless at the Condor. I don't know what the hell this is. This is the second week for this movie. Oh, this is a yeah. This is that. It's like a documentary about the first topless dancer or something. Taste of Things. This movie is still out? How many weeks? 21 weeks. Jesus. Holly M is here. Hi. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you. Femme. Ennio Le Samurai 1972 is in 1 theater. And Limbo. Why even put it on the list if it's in 1 theater? I don't know how the numbers rates these things. It's really odd. Is this all the movies that are in theaters in America right at this moment? I kind of think not. I kind of think if you're going to include something like a 1972 samurai film, there's probably a bunch of movies missing from this list. But the box office this week, $135 million. Not bad. Not bad. Alex, tap the like button, everyone. Thank you, Alex. Ardent, happy Christian Groundhog Day, Holly. Don't be blasphemous on the stream. All right. So that's the box office. What was last week? Last week was, I think, about the same. Yeah, 103. So things are getting better. And I want to see what the American Society did last week. Yeah, last week it only did $425,000. In its second week, it dropped 67%. It dropped 89% this week. So that is a drop. Holly says, at Ardent, LOL, you too. Bleach Demon, happy Easter, Holly. So the American Society for Magical Negroes dropping like a stone in its 3rd week. As it should be. This will be gone. I think this will be out of theaters next week. I mean, it's that much of an embarrassment. And it should be. Alex Ogle, happy Portable Radio Observation Day. Ah, all right. Ardent, that wasn't blasphemous. I can be blasphemous, but won't because I respect you. You can be blasphemous as you want. That won't bother me. I'm not religious, but I'm just goofing around. All right, so let's check the trades. So the Monsters Reign. This was a big deal. Chance Perdomo. I don't know if you know this guy, but he was only 27. He was in Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and the new Gen V TV show. He's dead. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they're just going to kill him off in Gen V, but... Ardent. Alex with the intellectual gags. I know, that was a tough one. Giancarlo Esposito can't save the AMC's haphazard and predictable Parish TV review. Yeah, according to you, Variety. Alex Ogle, American Society can't drop fast enough. It's utter hypocrisy, offensive to my eyes. Yeah, it really is. So, I wonder if it'll be on the list at all next week. Bleach Demon, Honey Baked, 2 million? Or 2M? I don't know what you're talking about. What did I miss? Honey Baked 2M. Honey Baked Ham? Are you somehow making a parody about Honey Baked Ham? Honey Baked 2 million. I don't know. Rami Youssef, who I don't understand how he's famous. Like, he's an actor. I don't understand how he's famous. Or this famous, I should say. But he apparently was famous enough to host SNL. And everybody was making a big deal about it. And then and I couldn't quite understand why until I read this headline: "Free the people of Palestine and free the hostages in heartfelt SNL monologue." So I guess that's why he was hosting, so he could say that. And Bleach Demon 2 meter, ha, radio jokes. Honey baked 2 meter, radio jokes. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Well, I'll take your word for it. Lego Movie turns 10. Who cares? Beyonce fans confused. I'm shocked. Beyonce fans confused over 5 missing tracks on Cowboy Carter vinyl, fueling theories about last-minute changes. Does anybody care? Does anybody care about albums anymore? I mean, Jesus, they're making such a big deal that Beyonce got into country music, and then first said, "Oh, I'm being ostracized from country music." Well, you're not a country star. Well, I just did a country album. Embrace me, everyone. And then, okay, it's a hit, but you were already a hit. Like, I don't know. It's just attention. Do a country album. Who cares? Everybody's got to make everything about them. It just annoys me. Make it about the music. You know, Judy Greer released a country album. I thought it was kind of cool. Because she did a cover of Eastbound and Down, and it was all part of the Archer TV series. I thought it was fun. Carter Chain, I care that the Lego Movie is 10. It makes me feel old. Comedian's copyright lawsuit against Steve Coogan's company, Baby Cow, heading to trial. Oh, that sucks. I like Steve Coogan. Comedian Harry Deansway infringement case against Steve Coogan's production company, Baby Cow, is going to trial. Deansway, whose real name is Joshua Rinkoff, filed suit against Baby Cow in the UK, claiming the production company's head of comedy, Rupert Manjadine, had copied the format of his YouTube show Shambles to develop the stand-up series Live at the Moth Club. I don't know, that seems like a stretch. And like, Steve Coogan seems like a really talented guy. I don't think he needs to steal. Alex at Carter Chain, bloody hell, so it is. Ardent, there's a Judy Greer cover of Eastbound and Down. There is. And it's pretty good. I think she's doing it in character as Cheryl. I mean, she did it in character on the show. That was part of the show. Or part of an episode. Let's see. Alright, moving on to Fandom Pulse. Happy Easter from Fandom Pulse. Christ is risen. Christ is king. He's super into that. He's super into this, like, online, like, Christian, like, pushback. Which I don't mind. I think you gotta be wary of it, though. Because I listen to James Lindsay, and he says, be careful, it's a psyop. Don't get too caught up in it. Oh, here was a big story. C2E2. Now, this is basically, it's a comic book convention out in Chicago. I think I did it at least once. Possibly more. Yeah, I think it was the one I did. Anyhow, Ethan Van Sciver and a couple of other dudes were going to do C2E2. Storebang, what show Judy on? And Ardent says Archer, yes. So they were going to do this show, and they were going to share a booth. So this is a typical thing you do if you can't afford a booth or a table at an expensive show like C2E2, you share a table or a booth. Depends on where your booth is. You know, if you got a booth on a corner, it's a perfect booth to share because you really have two faces. You can have two tables, and each person can have a table. You know, if you split it up into like 2/3, give each person 2/3 of a table, that can work. You got 3 people. if you're on a corner. Otherwise, maybe you give each person a third. It's a little tight, but you can make it work. I did a couple events like that. Apparently, C2E2 has some rules about doing that they didn't like. They didn't like people sharing booths for whatever reason. So they jettisoned Ethan Van Sciver and Shane Davis and John Malin. Now they're saying it's over quote unquote offensive comments they've made on YouTube or whatever. It sounds like they're being canceled for their political beliefs. Probably are. If I had to guess, in Chicago, yeah, they're probably being canceled because they are who they are. I don't know if they're getting a refund. That would be my first concern. Are they getting a refund? And were they alerted, ahead enough time? But does Ethan need to go all the way I don't know why Ethan's going all the way to Chicago to do a show. There's like a million shows in New Jersey. I would go to New York if I were him. That's like right across the river. Why would you go all the way to Chicago? Or why wouldn't you go to LA if you're gonna do a big show? Chicago would not be my first choice. Not any stretch. But maybe it was just convenient for him to do or whatever. So now they're not going, and there's a big controversy about whether or not they were canceled over their beliefs or whatever. Probably were. There's a lot of that going on in comics, unfortunately. Ardent, I was thinking Pam Grier for a second. She voice acted on GTAV as radio DJ. No. This is Judy Greer. Alex Ogle, I watched season 3 of The Boys this weekend. Not as bad as season 2, but it still got very confused writing and story. What offends me most is not one character can put on a decent British accent. Yeah, I don't know. I read the comic. The show's fine. It's okay, I guess. It gets old really fast, is my problem with it. To me. The comic, I don't know, it captured something for its moment that the show can't quite capture because, again, like, it's a comic book thing. Like, when you're in the world of comics and you're reading superheroes every week and then you read The Boys, it like comes off way different than like a TV show about, like, The Boys isn't quite there. Like the TV show. It's good, but it's, it's so dependent upon, it's so meta. Like, it's not, I don't think it's bad, but some comic stuff doesn't quite translate. Ardent, 3 is out. Nice. Invincible is back 2. Yeah. I've heard good things about Invincible. Jim Rugg cancels his cartoonist K-Fab partner, Ed Piskor, in sad end to their comic industry saga. I didn't really follow this closely, but apparently Ed Piskor got caught sending some questionable tweets or text to an underage artist, and now it's blown up in his face, and looks like they're done, and his career is done. He like literally deleted his entire social media presence and disappeared off the internet. So it's not a good look, but I don't know the details. So and then another big story. Disney Marvel X-Men 97 goes full gay by having Morph lust after Wolverine in Bo DeMeo's 3rd episode. So, this is something I didn't really predict it, but I was kind of thinking something like this would happen. That, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, X-Men 97, the first 2 episodes weren't too bad. Yeah, I know they did some things, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad." Yeah. And then the 3rd episode drops and this happens. So they're headed down the same path the comics are on. They're just trying to do it using X-Men 97 this time. And what happened to the comics was just like, it's... Now they're trying to pull out of it in the comics. Good luck, a-holes. good luck bringing back the fans now. Not until I see everybody at Marvel Comics fired and frog marched out of the company headquarters will I even consider buying one of your stupid comics. Ardent. F. Yes, F indeed. So enjoy that if you're still hanging on to Disney Plus and watching things. I don't know why you would give money to Disney. I just don't know why. I boycotted Disney a long time ago. Like in the 90s, I boycotted Disney. Because I just heard and saw things coming out of Disney that infuriated me. The way they ran things, the way they did things, it pissed me off. And I said, you know what? I'm done with Disney. And I haven't looked back since. Except, my one exception was, I started watching the Marvel movies before Disney bought it. And then, well, I got pulled into watching the Marvel movies when they were still good. But beyond that, no. If I had kids, I would never let them touch a single thing made by Disney. I would ban it from the house. I would just throw it right in the trash. Oh, you got a Mickey Mouse shirt? Oh, yeah, let me see that. I'll wash it for you. Okay. Where's my Mickey Mouse shirt? I have no idea. I have no idea what happened to that shirt, kiddo. But don't worry. Here, I got you a Bugs Bunny shirt or whatever. Yeah, not going to happen. Disney, when I heard the story about Disney, here, I'll tell you a story about Disney. This is a totally true story if I'm telling it correctly, which I think I am. So there was a nursery school, and you may have heard this story. It's an amazing story, though. So a nursery school had painted Disney characters on the walls of a nursery. And they got a cease and desist letter from Disney saying you have to repaint your nursery. So what happened was, and they didn't back off. Like, they wanted them to repaint their nursery, or I guess pay them or whatever. So you know what happened? Hanna-Barbera came in and painted the whole nursery with their characters for free. And good for them. What a PR disaster. And I believe there was another case with a kid who wanted he was dying and he wanted a Spider-Man, like, tombstone, something like that. And Disney denied it. LeMay. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, it was a long time ago with the nursery. And I thought, what a bunch of a-holes. Like, why wouldn't you just say, hey, listen, we have a thing with our characters, like, give us $1 and we'll let this one go. Like, something like that. Why wouldn't you do that? Just for the PR win. Right? Oh, no, nursery schools everywhere will start painting our characters on their walls. Oh, no, what a terrible disaster. We won't make money off of it. Of course you'll make money on it, asshats. Because those kids will grow up seeing the characters and then they'll go right into it. No, instead we're not getting 10 cents. We're not getting our blood money. Go F yourself, Disney. LeMay, yep, that one. Ardent, Hanna-Barbera, FTW, for the win. Don the Second is here. Geez, Disney is ruthless. That's what I've heard. They got into a court battle, I believe, with Robin Williams. Something to do with the Genie movie. I forget the details. Of all people, you're gonna fight Robin Williams in court over the Genie character. The character, like, it was all Robin Williams, 100%. Like, that Genie movie wouldn't have been anything without Robin Williams. Nothing. It would be nothing. But they fought him in court. So I don't like Disney. That's my personal grudge. I've had bad personal experience with people who say, as far as I knew, they worked at Disney. They told me they did. I had very bad experiences with them. So F Disney. Couldn't happen to a nicer company. I hope the whole place folds. Don the Second at Ardent. I was watching Boomerang cartoons recently in a hotel room TV since there was no streaming. It was a good time. Ardent, I thought Walt hated never mind. He hated the commies. He hated them. And I think the commies, in response, smeared him. And that's how the rumors of him being a fan of the bad guy from Germany started, I believe. Razor Fist has some excellent videos on the subject of Hollywood always being red and Walt Disney being a commie fighter. And you should watch, there's at least 2 of them. Watch them both. Stranger Mosh, I think those cases are also about bureaucratic mechanism of law. Lawyers get paid if they enforce copyright instead of letting it go, etc. Oh, I understand that too. But there's a way to handle it, right? So the lawyers come to you and say, we have this nursery school that's violating our copyright law. Because we're lawyers and this is what we do all day. Now, I wouldn't expect the lawyers to make that decision. I would expect somebody above them in the executive level to say, okay, but don't come down hard on them. Let's talk to them and work out something mutually beneficial, whatever that would be, right? You would get some information. Okay, this is just a nursery school or nursery place, whatever. They don't make a lot of money. So let's just go there, make a big show of it, give them some videotapes or whatever, and tell them in response, we'd like you to pay us, $10 to be an official nursery school of Disney or whatever. And you would do it through paperwork, not through money. And not through lawfare, I would say. Ardent, oh what? Walt was done dirty by the lefties? Yes, he was. But you have to watch the video to get the details. I don't remember everything. Alex Ogle, Snopes says true. Disney did demand removal of the 3 Florida daycare centers. Snopes says it's hardly surprising an entertainment industry giant would object to unauthorized commercial use. Yeah, but again, there's a way to handle it, right? So, first off, let's say for legal reasons, they had to remove, like, I don't know, Disney has some deal they're going to cut with some other daycare center, and they have an exclusive contract with them, and they absolutely have to get this other daycare center to remove them, right? So what do? Well, you go to the daycare center and say, we're very sorry, we have to have you remove these things, but please, if you'll allow us to pay for the repainting of your nursery, we'll have it repainted, we'll put some generic characters on it, and we'll give you a bunch of Disney product. Like, that's the way you handle it. So even if it comes out that you had to do this, the people from the nursery will defend you in public. Like, the people from the nursery will say, oh yeah, that's true, but they repainted everything and paid for it and gave us a bunch of Disney stuff. Like, that's the way you would do it, I would say. Holly M, power hungry. Don the Second, Snopes is BS, LOL. Yeah, don't trust Snopes, Alex. Be careful. Ardent, Snopes are dinguses anyway. Dingus pluralizes to dinguses, dingai. Stranger Mosh, I think those people in executive board also have other people they want to look good in front of. This, while compartmentalized way things are run, is part of what's making Disney this evil. Yeah, it's partly that too. It's like one department doesn't know what the other department's doing, and then they, it's possible it was like, hey, this, we found this nursery school doing this, and the other department said, oh, well, forget it, that's no good. And then the lawyer said, well, we get paid bonuses every time we find a copyright violation. Are we going to get our bonus? And the other department said, no, you're not getting your bonus, so just drop it. And then they said, well, screw you, we won't drop it. Something like that. Alex Ogle, Snopes. Snopes are a-holes who have to prop up the big interest. It amused me that Snopes would chime in on the subject given their vile slant on topics. Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of giving them a pass. But speaking of Disney, Disney's cash cow ESPN is doomed. So there you go. They've ruined another thing, in my view. I think Disney ruined ESPN, and I barely watched ESPN. And I told this story on Hollywoke Hot Take, but I'll tell it again. I was working a job during the pandemic, and they had ESPN on in the break room, and I would pass by the TV, and you would expect chatter about sports, and they were talking about every woke topic under the yellow sun. And I was just like, what the hell happened to ESPN? Why aren't you talking about sports scores? Why are you talking about critical race theory on ESPN? It was weird. But good. I hope they have to sell it. I hope they just collapse as a company. I really do. If they don't get Iger out, I think they might. I mean, I said it on the other video. Like, there's only two ways this is going to go. Either they oust Iger and then announce Nelson Peltz is now in charge, or whoever's in charge. Maybe they get a new CEO. And now we're going in a new direction. We're not doing all this woke crap. And everybody goes, yay, okay. And then hopefully they start fixing stuff. The other way is a disaster, because it's like, okay, Nelson Peltz tried to oust Iger, but the vote went against him. And now Iger stays. How's that look? Well, that looks, oh, nothing's going to change. You're going to keep cranking out terrible movies starring women. I think I'll be taking my stock money elsewhere. And everybody pulls out of Disney. And good luck. Good luck getting investors. Over at the Hollywood Reporter. More on this guy who died. It was a motorcycle accident at 27. Never ride a motorcycle, I say. Life after Diddy. Revolt CEO on forging new path amid mogul's departure. It's like everybody's trying to like get ahead of the Diddy controversy. Life after Diddy. I'm not with Diddy anymore. I'm past that. Yeah, the only picture you're going to be seeing of Diddy, I think, in the not too distant future is the one with him and Trump. Oh my God. SNL host Rami Youssef, again, another thing about SNL, calls for trans women to be next president and asks God to free the people of Palestine and free the hostages. My God, dude. You're woker than woke. Again, I don't know who this guy is, but I mean, you're working hard for me to never see anything that you are in. Let's see. They're making a sequel to Freaky Friday, everybody. Arden, did he or didn't he? Ha! So, in case you were wondering, Freaky Friday 2 is a go with the Chippendales director. I didn't see that movie. And I guess Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis will be back. Holly, a wokey salad? A wokey salad. All wokey salad? Not getting the pun, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this. This looks like a bad idea. This looks like a bad idea in every possible dimension. There are multiverse dimensions in which Freaky Friday was the greatest movie ever made, and this still looks like a bad idea. Holly, a woke salad. Oh, okay. I think I get it now. Like, why would you make a sequel to Freaky Friday? And why would you make it now? Like, you know, it's 2003. It was 20 years ago. Oh, Holly M. SNL. Got it. Yeah, that is a woke salad, the SNL thing. Why the F would you do a sequel to Freaky Friday now? Disney is getting desperate. 20 years later. 21 years later, you're going to do... It's not even going to come out this year. It'll probably be out in like a year or two. 21 years, doggy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You weren't even alive 20 years ago, doggy. You weren't even alive. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You're a dog. So, yeah, this is terrible. It wasn't even that good of a movie when it came out. Let's see what the numbers say. I guess it made money. Freaky Friday. I remember the original movie. Like, there was an original movie, Freaky Friday. Yeah, this is 1977 Freaky Friday. Made $25 million. But that's 1977 dollars. And we don't know what the budget was. Probably like $1 million. 77. But then Freaky Friday made 110 million, 160 worldwide, with a budget of 26 million. Well, that looks good on paper. Okay, it made money, but I don't know, it just seems way too long to make a sequel to a 21-year-old movie. What is even going to be the plot? Like, the plot of the first movie is, you know, the teenager and the mother switch places. The teenager gets to be an adult, and the adult gets to be a teenager again. And for a while it's cool, and then it sucks, and then they go back to their roles and appreciate each other more. They just redid this movie, by the way, with Ed Helms. I forget what it was called, but it was Freaky Friday, except it was a mother and father and son and daughter who switch places. So the father and the son switch, and the mother and daughter switch. So it was like double Freaky Friday. It was the same damn plot. And then there were some problems with it. I forget what, but I don't know. That just seems weird. Dumb idea. All right, checking in with Bounding into Comics. Of course, Lou Gossett Jr. has died at 87. Stranger Mosh. It was peak Lindsay Lohan at the time, who, by the way, was kind of having a small revival with small rom-coms. Seems like a step back for her to go to Freaky Friday, though. But I guess that's her big movie, so whatever. Louis Gossett Jr., after Iron Eagle, my friends and I would always joke that, you know, whenever we saw a movie and then started reading the credits and Lou Gossett Jr. was in it, it would always be like, oh no. Because every movie he was in after Iron Eagle would always tank, it seemed. He just couldn't catch a break after Iron Eagle. And then they didn't make a sequel to Iron Eagle, so. Holly, well, have a good night and happy Easter all again. Thanks for coming in, Holly. Ardent, Iron Eagle was a great movie. Yeah, everybody loves that movie. Not much going on. Scott Adams had a really good tweet about DEI, if you want to read that. Jake Gyllenhaal talked about maybe playing Batman, but he didn't get the gig from Christopher Nolan. I think Jake Gyllenhaal could be a decent Batman. Deadline. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. Nothing going on here. Billie Eilish said something probably stupid. This was weird. Merida, California cops kept publishing pictures. They weren't allowed to publish pictures of suspects. For some reason, California is wacky that way. So now they're posting the pictures, but they, instead of blurring out the photos, they were using Lego heads with different expressions. And now Lego told them to stop. Gyllenhaal could do Superman. Yeah, he'd be a good Superman too. He's got more. He'd probably be better as Superman, yeah. Really, any superhero. He's in shape. He's about the right age. Doctor Who episode titles unveiled. New guest star added to season premiere. Oh boy, something I really don't care about. Doctor Who is done. D-U-N done. No thank you. No thank you. I don't even want to. I'm so out of Doctor Who, I don't even want to read the titles. I'm sure they're stupid and lame and woke. So, good luck. Good luck, BBC, ruining the one show you had. Bleeding Fool. Sunday evening movie thread. The scariest Easter film ever? I believe that's The Exorcist in that picture. Yes. Yes, it is. Love that movie. Love The Exorcist. It's a scary effing movie. Dennis Quaid's going to be playing Reagan in a movie. If you're interested, they have an article here, Easter Perspective, a Christian Guide to Geek Culture. Ardent, Oppenheimer opens where? Oh, yeah, in Japan it opened, finally. There's a big to-do about it. The Japanese were mad, and now they're playing it. So, if you're in Japan, you can finally see Oppenheimer. Cosmic book news. More on Gay Wolverine and Morph. X-Men 97 ratings bomb on Disney. Oh my gosh, really? I wonder why. Huh. Scarlett Johansson in talks for new Jurassic World movie. I'm so sick of Jurassic Park. I hated Jurassic Park from the first movie. There, I said it. I didn't like Jurassic Park. I didn't like it. I don't think it's a good movie. I wanted it to be a better movie. And I kind of just tolerated it. I mean, looking back on it, it's okay-ish. But, you know, my criticism of the movie was, oh, you got dinosaurs and guys on ATVs with machine guns? Oh, this will be good. Oh, wait. We don't get to see them shoot any of the dinosaurs. Hey, great. I hate it. And now they're kind of doing that now, I guess, but what I want to see is World War Dinosaur. That's what I want to see. I want to see dinosaurs, you know, hitting the beach and like soldiers like, ah, and then dinosaurs going, rah. That would be awesome. Stranger Amash. I'll go watch Jurassic World with ScarJo if she plays a human velociraptor. Maybe the only way I would go see ScarJo in this is if she's in a bikini the whole time. Like she starts the movie on a beach and then like never gets to change her clothes, or maybe she starts out in like a loose shirt that gets tattered, more and more tattered as the movie goes on. Then I'll see your damn movie. Stranger Mosh, sounds like you want a Turok movie with Scarlett Johansson? Maybe. Oh, with the dinosaurs? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. If you're going to put dinosaurs in it, I make them do something cool. You know? Don't give me your stupid environmentalist message, Hollywood. God, I hate that. You won't be doing a movie about the stupid wind turbines they're building off the Jersey Shore that's killing whales and seals and everything else. Oh, you won't do a movie about that. No, you'll do a movie 20 years later after they're all dead and the wind turbines ruin the view and do nothing. And we've switched over for some reason, some insane reason. I'm sure we'll switch over. Oh, we'll close our nuclear plants and just be electric now. Go F yourself. Phil Murphy. Ardent, Cadillacs, and Dinosaurs. Excellent suggestion. That's a good comic. It would be a fun movie. I think they did a cartoon. I don't know. Movie, though, TV show, I think would probably be better. And added to the mix, That Park Place. This is a pretty good blog. I've been getting some cool headlines from it. Indiana Jones and the Flop of Destiny. Forbes uses tax docs to discover Indy lost more than $100 million. I wouldn't be surprised. Disney's in big trouble. Because it sounds to me like they're running out of the money that they would keep people at bay from doing this kind of investigation. And eventually it's going to catch up to them. Eventually the government will be forced to respond to it. Like, oh, did you cheat us out of money? Ardent, did they do a cartoon? They absolutely did a Cadillacs and Dinosaurs cartoon. 100%, yeah. It was on Saturday mornings. It was like one of the last Saturday morning cartoons. Video game outlet Niche Gamer claims they will be punished by PR firms and video game studios if they cover Elon Musk criticizing Xbox global product marketing manager. I guess. Oh, here it is. Wall Street Journal reports Nelson Peltz may lead in votes for Disney board seat. Yeah, I mean this is going to be the end of Disney if he doesn't get on, I think. Because if he doesn't get on, nothing changes at Disney, and why would you think they're not going to bomb the next $200 million movie? Ardent, I never saw that. I need to go find that later. Yeah, 100%. I hear it was pretty good translation of the comic. I never read the comic, but I think I saw one of the episodes. Right, doggy? Right, doggy? They at least did cool things with the dinosaurs. So Nelson Peltz has to win this, or Disney, I think, is doomed. They just go back to doing what they do, making things woke and terrible, I guess. So I guess they'll continue to ruin movies and cartoons and TV shows until, I mean, what do they got in the pipeline? What does Disney have in the pipeline? I'll tell you. Hello, Terry Hatcher. So, let's see. Is this one? Yeah, here we go. I don't know if this one's still legit, but here's what they had in the pipeline. So, Echo. That's terrible. Quantum Mania. That's terrible. Oh, wait. This is stuff. Did this all come out? Oh, this is an old one. See, they changed it so many times. So, a lot of this stuff has been delayed. Legends Guardian of the Galaxy. I'm not sure what that is. That might be a Guardians of the Galaxy TV show that got canceled. Captain America. I don't know what Legends is. What is that? But Wakanda, this was supposed to be 2023. I guess before the strike. Captain America 4, which has been rewritten to death and reshot. It's being reshot. They shot the damn thing and they're cutting it all. They're like reshooting the whole damn movie. This movie is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. Ardent, what's Legend supposed to be? I don't know. Nomad. I guess that was Marvel Studios, so that's TV show. And Young Avengers. Again, who cares about either one of those? Blade. This movie's not getting off the ground either. And they're still rewriting that. And Fantastic Four, that's way in the past. That's like not even close to being made. Do we have 2024? Let's see. Schedule a movie. Let's try 2024. Yeah, 2024 has got knocked down to this. Deadpool, A New Home. I guess this is before they changed it again. So, look at all the titles. Deadpool, A New Home. Well, they changed that to Deadpool and Wolverine. Sam Wilson, Captain America. They changed that. X-Men. That ain't happening this year. I don't know what the current list is. Let's try 2025. See if there's a more current one. Nope. That's an old one. This is another old one too. So there's no current list that I can find off the top of my head. This is Phase 5. Let's see. Here we go. Let's try this one on Screen Rant. When is this from? This is this year. Okay, so this should be current. Screen Rant's probably okay with this. So we got Deadpool and Wolverine. So this could be good. It doesn't look bad yet, but the nerds will see. The nerds will tell us. Then Kraven the Hunter. This will be bad. This is from Sony. This looks terrible. Pointless. Don't know why you did this. Venom: The Last Dance. That's Halloween. I mean, it could go either way. Tom Hardy is a great actor. He's not good. He's great. He really carried the first movie. I hear the second movie is like barely watchable, but I don't know. This could kind of go either way. And where is Spider-Man? When do we get to see Venom versus Spider-Man? I don't know. This might be the last movie. Then next year, Captain America Brave New World, and I think they changed the title of this. I'll call it now. This movie's going to be a disaster. They're already reshooting the whole damn thing. They were supposed to have the Serpent Society in it. The article I read said they were all cut. Like 6 actors. They're all cut from the movie. Completely. They just completely... The only people who are still in the movie are Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Black Captain America, Falcon, whatever you want to call him, and Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk as Thunderbolt Ross. You telling me that's going to be a movie? I mean, like, Harrison Ford is having the worst final stages of his career. He's in the worst movies ever. He's ruining, in my view, he's ruining his own legacy. And he didn't even need the money. In my view. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but my God, man. So this is going to be an absolute disaster. I say. But we'll see. Look who's in it. Sam Wilson, Captain America. Joaquin Torres, Falcon. Says new Falcon. President Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. That's going to be Harrison Ford. Samuel Stearns, a.k.a. the leader, who really is... I think he was a Hulk villain at first. And then Isaiah Bradley as Betty Ross is going to be in it. But you know who's not going to be in it? The Hulk. Who should be in it? Ardent. Stormy loves the Venom movies. I like the first one. This is another disaster. Thunderbolts. There's no reason to make this movie whatsoever. None. Zero. Doesn't make any sense to make this movie. You all are comic fans, so I'm sure you know the origins of this hero team. It was a secret. They were all villains. It was a great reveal in comics. It was one of the few times they ever pulled it off. And because of that, it was so popular, they kept the comic around. And then when it got scooped up by Disney, they just kept the IP and assumed, oh yeah, here, we own this. Let's make a movie. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Who wants to see this? So you got second-rate Black Widow, Bucky, second-rate Captain America, second-rate Taskmaster, and David Arbor as, I forget his character now. Was it Rocket Red or something? Or is that, no, that's DC? Alex Ogle. Little known fact, some decades ago, the BBC did live adaptations of Quatermass Experiment and A for Andromeda. Tom Hardy was in the latter. Well worth a watch if you could find it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, he's great. He's great in everything. Fantastic Four. Another one that looks terrible. Not only do you got Pedro Pascal, terrible casting. Ardent, Red Guardian, thank you. Couldn't think of it. You got Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. Think it's a dumb move. Don't think he should be the guy. He just doesn't look like him. He doesn't come off as a genius. Terrible casting. It's just terrible. It's just he's an A-lister. We got to put him in the role. No, you don't have to. But the word is that Sue Storm will be the leader, the real leader of the team, and that's going to be a disaster because then what is Pedro Pascal's character then? If he's not the smartest man in the Marvel universe, why are we watching this? He has to be the leader. He has to be. Sue Storm was just on the team because she was in the rocket when they crashed. Ardent, Pedro Pascal doesn't look nearly smart enough for Reed. Yeah. It's a dumb move. And this is a thing they tried again and again and again to make work, and they can't make it work. I think it's doomed. I think it's utterly doomed. But that's July of 2025, and it's a summer movie. Summer movie, everybody. Oh boy. Blade, November 2025. They haven't even finished the script yet. And part of the reason, so goes the rumor, is Mahershala Ali keeps saying no to the script. So, wise man, I think they should get, I think Wesley Snipes could do this. I still say Wesley Snipes would 100% knock this out of the park, even at his age. That's just me. And the fans would go absolutely bonkers if they brought him back. But they're not. To some extent, I understand that. Oh, we get a younger guy. The problem is they're already pimping this as Blade's daughter's going to be in it. Because in the comic book, they're trying to push the daughter over Blade. Because everything has to be female. And we've got to get rid of all these patriarchal men. So they're really trying to push the daughter character. Which is why I think Mahershala Ali is like, no way I'm being in this unless I'm the star. And he should. But, that you can't remake one of the few Marvel movies you already made prior to Phase 1? You idiots? I mean, there's just no other... What other explanation is it that these people are so incompetent that they can't make a good Blade movie? They've already made, 2 that were really good. I think the third, is it the third or the fourth one that sucks? I forget. I mean, they start to go downhill after a while, don't get me wrong, but there's absolutely no reason they have to blow this one. But they are, seeming to me. Alex Ogle, come on, Tony. Fantastic Four is long overdue for transing. The Four need to get on a mission to render children permanently infertile. I didn't say it, YouTube. I'm just reading. Ardent, Pascal is going to be the Mrs. Incredible Elastigirl instead of Reed Richards. I still wish Michael Jai White had been cast as Blade instead. He wouldn't be bad. But the fact that they're throwing in the daughter character at all is insane. No. That character shouldn't even exist. If I ran Marvel, I'd be like, we're going to hit a hard reset, fix the characters, and here's the list of characters don't ever bring back. Blade's daughter would be on the list. She wouldn't be on the top of the list. Let's see. The top of the list would be Squirrel Girl, America Chavez, and a bunch of other. Oh, and Carol Danvers. Yeah, Carol Danvers would be dead again. Ardent, Blade Trinity was the worst of the three and still better than most of the stuff now. So this sounds like it's not going in a good direction. It's been rewritten, I think, at least twice. Avengers Kang Dynasty. It's not even called that anymore. They got rid of Kang. 2026. I don't know where I don't even know if you'll be making movies by then. I really don't. Avengers Secret Wars, May 7th, 2027. That's an optimistic view for the same reasons. So you're not even going to have the Secret Wars. I think the rumor was that the Deadpool movie was going to somehow lead into the Secret Wars. Maybe they're going to do another a series of movies where at the end they lead up to the Secret Wars and then switch over to Secret Wars. I don't know. At this point, how old is Samuel L. Jackson going to be by the time you get to this movie? You're going to have Nick Fury in a wheelchair. Armor Wars. I so don't care about this movie. Don Cheadle shouldn't even be in this role. It should be Terrence Howard. But yeah, I don't think anybody cares about War Machine. Nobody in the comic really cared about War Machine. Hey, want to see Iron Man's friend? Not really. Spider-Man 4, the new MCU trilogy, whatever that means. People will go see Spider-Man. Shang-Chi 2. I don't think this movie's going to survive if Nelson Peltz gets back in the driver's seat. I think he'll cancel this. They'll say, what are we going to do this movie for? The first one didn't really make. Let's see how much money it made before I say something. I think I looked this up before. It came right up. $500,000 maybe? 432. Yeah, so about $500,000. I don't think it's worth doing. Ardent, I'm going to work on a super team with characters named Toxic Male, Captain Chivalry, the 19th Repealer, and they will be led by an old white Superman knockoff called Patriarch. Sounds solid. Sounds like a... Oops. Sounds... Where the hell was it now? Hold on. There it is. Sounds like a solid pitch. Yeah, Shang-Chi, I think... Probably shouldn't put this in the pipeline. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse release date. Another movie. This will be the end of the whole Spider-Verse movies. So that's done. Spider-Women. Animated Spider-Verse. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Sony. But this is Sony. Sony has definitely not gotten the memo yet. So they're determined to ESG it. El Muerto. Another Sony movie that shouldn't be happening. So maybe Disney will turn the tide and then Sony will go down the woke rabbit hole. Jackpot. This is... all right, sit down for this one. They gave Mary Jane superpowers and called her Jackpot. Yeah. They did this in the comics and now they want to do already a movie. Alex Ogle at Ardent. Yes, I too found Blade Trinity to be a load of old pony, but still better than any recent Marvel sputum. Very fancy words. Ardent. The cliffhanger ending of the second Spider-Verse movie pissed me off. There's a cliffhanger ending? Pass. Hard pass. God. How is this still in the pipeline? Jackpot. Hypno Hustler. Now this one is supposed to star Donald Glover. Now maybe if they did this as a comedy, it wouldn't be too bad. It's a dumb name. It's the dumbest name ever. But if you did it as a comedy, it might be kind of funny. Donald Glover is pretty funny when he wants to be. Ardent, LOL, is Spider-Man going to hit the jackpot? Yeah. Well, that's, it's from the line, right? Tiger, you hit the jackpot. It's like, Jesus, get another idea in your head. It's just like, what did you do? Just sit around with the same comics, same 3 comics going, how can we make a movie out of this? Well, Hypno Hustler has no business being a movie. And then, the shows. Get ready for the shows. The even worse section of the Marvel Universe. At Ardent. Alex at Ardent. Depends on who they get to play Jackpot. Could be a trans woman called Jack. Ardent. Ugh. So, TV shows. X-Men 97 already. What If Season 3 in development. No known release date. Agatha, which has changed names like 4 times now. It's coming out in the fall. I think that show's doomed. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is expected to release in 2024. Is that a cartoon? I don't know. Spider-Man sophomore year will act as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man season 2. Okay. Marvel Zombies. Don't want to see that. 2024. Vision Quest is expected in 2024 or 2025. I guess that's a Vision show? Ironheart. Oh God. In development. Should be canceled, but I hear that's back on the sked, as they say. Back on the sked, as in schedule. Sked. Daredevil Born Again. Yeah, they're making that. Wonder Man is back too. I don't think the guy they cast is good for it. Don't think they should race swap him. Don't think they should do it. A Nova series is in development. That one would be the one thing I would go, okay, yeah, do a Nova series. If they could do it right, but I have no faith in them. And an untitled Marvel Wakanda series in development. That maybe like you could use a Wakanda TV show to bring up another Black Panther and then launch it back into a movie, but I don't have any confidence. It'll be all women. It'll be all women, wall-to-wall women in Wakanda. You know, it'll go from being a patriarchal king to women and councils having elaborate costumes and long, boring meetings where they get very huffy with each other. Oh, I don't think she understood what I said. Well, it was possibly the way you said it. Great. Sounds exciting. Oh, please. Maybe they'll get to go to a shoe store. Ardent. They did Marvel Zombies inside the What If series. Why bother? Yeah. Why bother doing it? And that's it. Well, on that note, let's wrap up. Because, oh my God, we did 3 hours. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned Disney is in trouble. And I have nothing to look forward to under Marvel. That's for sure. I still don't like Disney. Even if they switch to Nelson Peltz, good luck winning a guy like me back, or a lot of other people have been burned. I mean, it'll take you years, but maybe after 5 years of solid based entertainment, you could probably go, oh, okay. Ardent, but what will Wakanda feature? More white man for diversity? No, it will not. It will feature, I don't know, it'll probably be some stupid soap opera with the various women going back and forth about, oh, how are we going to rule Wakanda? How are we going to stop the white man from stealing our resources? Oh, I know, communism. Oh, yeah, let's institute that. What else did we learn? We learned about the box office and that Ghostbusters isn't doing great. The American Society for Magical Negroes is not doing well at all and probably won't even be on the list next week. And what was the top one? I already forgotten. The numbers said, oh, Godzilla. We learned that monster movies do okay. They do okay. Ardent, we learned that Jesus is better than superhero. 90% of Marvel. We learned that Easter is today, and that's the only holiday that's today. Alex, we have learned that there are no new ideas worth turning into product. We need to punish studios by just going back over old stuff until they start taking risks with good independent writers again. I agree. They're not going to take chances until they're broke. Until they're broken. And that's a long ways away. It's a long ways away. You know, when Netflix started, there was a lot of chatter I heard. Oh, you got to get over to Netflix. They're buying up stuff left and right. They're spending $1 billion in R&D. They're doing all this stuff. And it paid off for them. It did. They're a real player in the business now. I have not heard anything like that in a few years. No one's spending money. Everybody's pulling back. And that, in Hollywood, usually means, oh, we got to go back to all this stuff we used to do that was popular. So, unfortunately, not going to happen for a while. Ardent, cool power set, too. Jesus, I mean. Yes. So, happy Easter. I'm going to take a break now because I can't stand the smell of Joan's breath right underneath me. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Be glad this isn't smell-o-vision. So if you got any final thoughts, I want to thank you all for tuning in. What's coming up for me? That's a good question. I'm going to be on a podcast on Tuesday, so look for the announcement of that. Next Saturday, I'm doing 2 events. I'm doing the Lakewood Historical Society, I believe. Yes, Lakewood Historical Society in Brick, New Jersey in the afternoon. And I'm actually doing the OC Comic Con in Ocean City, which I love, at the Music Pier, on the same day. So my plan is to drive to Ocean City, set up for the Ocean City show. I'm going to do it for about 3 or 4 hours. Then I'm going to shut down, put up a sign, said, I have to leave, but I'll be back tomorrow. And then I'm going to go up to Lake Lakewood, do the Historical Society meeting, and then the next day on Sunday, I'm coming back and doing the rest of Ocean City. So it's going to be a bit of a drive for me next weekend, but it should be fun. So that's what's going on with me this week, and the usual stuff. I'm gonna have to mow my lawn at some point. Oh, you know what? I got to put the cover for book 14 of the Pineys on my website. I got all kinds of stuff to do. Ardent, my final thought is that Disney is engineering its own downfall, though that's a pretty common thread now. Yeah, it seems to be that way. I literally think there are a lot of guys. They're either tools of the Chinese communists, or they are actual Chinese communists who have been sent to America to work in Disney to undermine it at every turn. So, and with the eventual goal, because Disney is still the biggest, I think it's the biggest entertainment juggernaut in the United States. And by breaking it apart or destroying it, the Chinese communists think they can move in and take over. Which, I don't think it'll work that way, but it'll kind of help them a little. So, their movies are... I just saw a trailer for one of their movies. It looked okay-ish, but they still don't make good movies because they can't. They're communists. Their movies will probably always be terrible. Maybe if they get the formula of a mindless sort of action comedy with something like, fighting vampires or ghosts or something like that. Like if they took over the Ghostbusters franchise, they could probably make it work, but they have a problem with ghosts. We established last week. For some reason, the Chinese don't want ghosts to be in movies because it's like a communist thing. They don't want anybody to know there's an afterlife. Ardent, they're just mad that their boss looks like Winnie the Pooh. Yes. So free Tibet, free Hong Kong, and go F yourselves, communists, because we're coming back, and we don't care. We don't really care if Disney comes back with us. They could shut down, close up shop. Somebody will come along and buy up all their assets and make good movies. I don't know who that's going to be, but someday we'll get better movies again. All right, you ready to wrap it, Joan? I think Joan's ready to wrap. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Ardent, yes. Yes. Good night, stream. Happy Easter.